Shalom, shalom, shalom. Giving all praise and glory to the most high power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. His words to be praised for everything. And the Mashiach Yahushai, my big brother. Hope everybody's having a great week. Standing in the scriptures, studying, and showing himself approved unto the most high. As always, I'm going to start off with Colossians 3 and 17. Whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Shama Mashiach Yahushai, giving thanks to the Most High, power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. He's worthy to be praised for everything. The water, thank you, Most High, for another day closer to the kingdom. Another day he's allowing us to get our spirits together and get right with him, because he's the only one that's going to set righteousness on this earth. So it's very important that we tap into him. It's not a hard thing. It's just a matter of us doing what he say do and learn it, live it, and apply it in our life every day. So I'm going to look at Job 8 and 8. Flow with me on this. It says, for inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself for the search of their fathers. So when we go into the Bible, this is kind of like what we're doing. It really is what we're doing, because everyone that's in the Bible, that's written about in the Bible, is gone, But they gave us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to be able to know how to go into the scriptures and find our fathers, our forefathers, to be able to get the understanding that they given us that will last forever. Verse 9, it says, for we are but of yesterday. We that's here today, we are but of yesterday and know nothing, because our days upon earth are as a shadow. I mean, it's only like he only allows us 10. That's 70 years. A score is 20 plus 10, 3 scores, 3 20s is 60 plus 10 is 70 years. Anything other than that, we're blessed. So it says, shall not they teach thee? As we go into these scriptures and look at our ancestors, our forefathers, it says, shall not they teach thee and tell thee and utter words out of their heart, out of their mind? This is what we're looking at. Why I say, verse 8 say, for inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself, pray yourself, for the search of their fathers, our forefathers. And that's what we're looking at whenever we read anything in this Bible. We're reading about our forefathers or those nations that were around our forefathers, or we have nations around us now. Deuteronomy 4 and 32. Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter, and verse 32. For ask now of the days that are past, which will be for thee, which will be for us. So it's saying, ask of the days that have passed, which will be for us. Since the day that the Most High created man upon the earth, going all the way back to Genesis. And ask from the one side of heaven unto the other, from this land to that land, to this land to that land, from north, south, east, and west, all over the world. Where we're looking into the things that have happened from this side of heaven to the other. Whether there have been any such thing as this great thing is, or have been heard like it. Did ever people hear the voice of the Most High speaking out of the midst of the fire? What people? As thou hast heard and lived? We as the Israelites are the only ones that can claim this. Or have the Most High say to go and take him a nation from the midst of another nation by temptations, being tempted this way, that way, whatever way you think of, by signs, showing us signs. We tell you in 1 Corinthians 1:22, the Jews require signs. By signs and by wonders and by war. That's the only time that a nation was set up is through warfare. And by a mighty hand, a Mashiach Yahushua is that mighty hand of the Most High, and by a stretched out arm, still dealing with a Mashiach Yahushua as that mighty hand and that stretched out arm of the Most High. And by great terrors, we'll get into that, because when you look at reading the Bible, the Most High brought about great terrors, and he's going to bring about more terrors in this earth to be able to get him a name in these last days. That's going to last forever and ever and ever. It ain't going to never be not thought of. He going to get him a name that's going to last forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. He's going to be all in all. That's what this is all about. But see, you can get caught up in thinking that it's about man or woman or children, whatever. No, we the Israelites, we know we got next, but we still got to be in order with the Most High if you're going to be a part of that next. And you nations have to be a part of what it is that we're bringing forth in these last days. You know, come back to the Most High, or else you're going to be crispy, burnt crispy. Israelites, the heathens, the nations, the Gentiles, you either going to do what he say do, or he going to melt you, as he said. Simple as that. Prove that he can't melt you, that he can't touch you. You can do whatever you want to do, or follow somebody that's telling you that you're going to be able to get into the kingdom, and they ain't even made it themselves. Think about it. I ain't going to never tell you you're going to make it to the kingdom. I ain't even made it myself. You got to endure it to the end, and you got to do the right things that you've been doing by the Most High, because we've always offended him. That's the problem. Why class is in session. Hear the word of the Most High. He said, great terrors, according to all that the Most High, your power, yours a personal possessive pronoun showing ownership, your doesn't include anyone else but the children of Israel. The Most High say he the power of Abraham, who had a son named Isaac, who had a son named Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, became the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, who was Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. So if you're not of one of those 12 tribes, the Most High is not your power. You hear what it said? Your power did for you in Egypt before your eyes, it said. That's what he said. We've seen this. And think about it. We've seen him put all them 10 plagues on the Egyptians. And we still was offensive to the Most High. And he didn't even touch us. Nothing happened to us. That's why I say, man, we were rebellious people, man. And even to this day, just trying to exalt the Most High, giving the Most High all praise and glory. Y'all just a bunch of robots and robotees. Y'all following what somebody doing and telling you all praises. Come on. You can't praise the Most High? Think about it. That's offensive. What if somebody looked at you as an initial? I got to keep saying it because I want you to hear and really care about the Most High. And don't play him for him following what you, the way you think. Our mind's not like his mind. And the more we cannot offend him, the sooner we can get out of here. He said, unto thee was showed that thou might have known that the Most High, he is the power. There was none else beside him. You hear that? The Most High is the power. That there was none else beside him. But here we are, you know, I look at who's really praising the Most High, who really locked into him. Or you think your leader gonna get you out of captivity, slavery, and bondage? Or you think a man is gonna set up righteousness on this earth? You can't praise him enough, and we not praising him enough, I don't think. Or you can show me where we are. Show me where we not offending him and just saying all praises. We not offending him and putting APTTMH. People that not an Israelite, they don't know what that means. I'll ask them over and over again. What does APTTMH mean? What does APTTMH mean? They don't know. but they'll know what all praise to the Most High is, and they might even start saying it with you. They might want to come in. He might draw them in. He the one that draws men to a Mashiach Yahushua. You let a Mashiach Yahushua do the truth, but he don't want to do the calling. How you gonna call someone and you don't even know all praises to who? I mean, I'm just saying, it's like these are new things that's come about, and people just follow. That's why I call you a bunch of robots and robotees. You want to follow something? Tell me I'm wrong and saying you better praise the Most High. Come at that. Come with that. Do a debate on that. Come on. Let's keep it real, man. Before the Most High. He said, out of heaven, he made thee hear his voice, that he might instruct thee. And upon earth, he showed thee his great fire. And thou heard of his words out of the midst of the fire. And because he loved thy fathers, therefore he chose their seed after them. We the seed after our forefathers. Well, I said seek and inquire about our forefathers who can learn about, how we should be. It gave us the solution right here in the Bible. And because he loved thy fathers, therefore he chose their seed after them and brought thee out in his sight with his mighty power out of Egypt, out of captivity, slavery, and bondage under the Egyptians. You hear that? He brought us out by his mighty power to drive out nations, 7 nations greater than us, from before thee, greater and mightier than thou art. You see? This is who I'm talking about, to bring thee in, to give thee their land for an inheritance as it is this day. Come on, man. Better understand. It says, know therefore this day, and consider it in thine heart, that the Most High, he is the power in heaven above, and upon the earth beneath, there is none else. All praises to the Most High. Thou shalt keep therefore his statutes and his commandments, which I command thee this day, that it may go well with thee and with thy children after thee, and that thou mayest prolong thy days upon the earth. Read it again. Thou shalt keep therefore his statutes and his commandments, which I command thee this day, that it may go well with thee and with thy children after thee, and that thou mayest prolong thy days upon the earth, which the Most High thy power giveth thee forever. You see? So these are the things that we need to consider wholeheartedly, because those words don't change. It ain't changed. The Most High ain't changed. That's why I look at Proverbs 3:1. My son, forget not my law. He said, forget not my law, but let thine heart, your mind, keep my commandments. And when you keep the commandments, which is the laws, you hear what it said, forget not my law, but let thine heart, let your mind, the heart is the mind, keep my commandments. So the law, the commandments, the same thing. And when you do this, like he just told us, we just read it, for live for days. Keep the commandments, the laws, you're going to have a chance to live a long time. For live for days and long life, he said, and peace shall they add to thee. But if you are not humble and fearing the Most High, repentant, keeping his commandments, his laws, in the name of the Lord and Savior, by Shalom Mashiach Yahushua, crying to the Most High, you ain't gonna cry to him if you're not humble. So, and people, they don't want to hear that because of your pride. So when you're prideful, you can't do the things that will make him have pity on us, because you're prideful. You can't be told what to do, can't be correct. Ain't nobody that you know that didn't take orders from a man and learn from a man. These new age Israelites that don't have an elder, don't have anybody that's taught them or whatever, or even the ones that have an opportunity to know what they know, they sat down and listened to somebody's videos or someone, if they tell the real. You know, it ain't just come out. This ain't just all these precepts that come out of the air. Now they got all this. No, you got to be taught. And to be taught, you got to take correction and directions, man, and instructions, point blank. That's just the way it is. Psalms 102. Psalms 102. And 18. Psalms 102 and 18. This shall be written, this Bible, this shall be written for the generations to come. You hear that? This shall be written for the generations to come. And the people which should be created shall praise the Most High. You say, this shall be written for the generations to come, and the people that should be created shall praise the Most High. They're going to be saying all praises. They're going to be saying all APTTMH or no PTM or any other initials. They're going to be saying, people that's going to be created going to praise the Most High. Come on. This shall be written for the generations to come. And the people which shall be created, we the people that's created, we the generations to come, which shall be created shall praise the Most High. You know, ain't no doubt. Who are you praising? He said the people that's going to be created going to praise the Most High. All praise to the Most High. That's what it's saying. They're not going to be saying no all praises. They're not going to be saying APTTMH after they done typed out 5011 words of their own. No. All praise to the Most High. You better learn to praise the Most High. It's not going out void. It's not going out void. Romans 15 and 4. Romans 15 and 4. Can't praise them enough. Romans 15 and 4. For whatsoever things were written before time in the past were written for our learning. For our learning. That we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope, might have faith in the Most High. Knowing that we have opportunity to be saved from our enemies and saved from the hand of all that hate us. That's being saved. That's salvation. For us, what do you think? What's on your mind? You think it's all right? Because I know a lot of y'all say that. Our praises. A lot of y'all say, you know, I get my experience with those that came and said they represent Satan. They were saying that to their God. They had this, they came out there, had this picture, him right there, and it was all praises, all praises. So, and they were Gentiles, they were other nations. Romans 15:11 said it again, praise the Most High, all you Gentiles. He said, praise nobody, praise the Most High, even to the Gentiles, Northern Kingdom, or the heathens, whoever. Praise the Most High, all you Gentiles, and laud him, all you people. Man, come on. You can't praise him enough. What did he tell us? As we talk about praising him, Ecclesiasticus 43. And see, the reason why the judgment going to come down and it's going to be like really scary to those that think they're rolling right and being a bunch of robots and robot keys being being a bunch of puppets, and you don't take the time to do this simple thing. It's real simple. This ain't hard. Look, Ecclesiasticus 43, 29 and 30, verse 29 and 30. Ecclesiasticus 43, 29 and 30. The Most High is terrible. Y'all hear that? The Most High is terrible. The Most High is terrible and very great and marvelous in his power, right? We talking about the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. When you glorify the Most High, exalt him as much as you can, for even yet will ye far exceed. And when you exalt him, when you exalt the Most High, put forth all your strength, and be not weary, for ye can never go far enough. So I say all praise to the Most High. You better say it. He said, when you exalt the Most High, he said, put forth all your strength. All your strength. Shh. Go to Tobit 13 and 3. I'm just setting everything up so we can be in the right spirit with the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Look, Tobit 13 and 3. Confess him before the Gentiles. And we scattered among the Gentiles going to hear me confessing the Most High before them, ye children of Israel. For he has scattered us among them. So we have to confess the Most High and exalt him, praise him, give him all the power among the Gentiles. He's the power. Who's the power? Yahweh's the power, man. Confess him before the Gentiles, ye children of Israel. For he has scattered us among them. There declare his greatness and extol him before all the living. Because he is our power. Our is a personal possessive pronoun showing ownership. He's our power. And he is the power, our Father forever. You hear that? He is the power, our Father forever. We as the Israelites. And he will scourge us for our iniquities and will have mercy again. Now, he said he's going to scourge us for our iniquities. That's why you have to look at anyone that's of a Gentile nation that's coming in to learn from us. They still got to go through, to be dipped in that fiery furnace of affliction, to tell them that they don't have to do and go through the things that we went through. No, you lying to the people, man. This is what it said. It said in verse 5, it said, and he will scourge us for our iniquities. You hear that? He gonna scourge us, tear our butts up, and we have been towed up and towed down and just made like it was nothing, man. To this day, man, nobody love us. He scourged us. This is what he said. And he will scourge us for our iniquities, for our breaking his laws, statutes, commandments, our wickedness. And will have mercy again. He's gonna have mercy on Jacob, and yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. You see? And the strangers, you other nations, are going to be joined with us. They're going to cleave to the house of Jacob, it says in Isaiah 14 and 1 down. It says, and he will scourge us for our iniquities and will have mercy again and will gather us out of all nations. That's why I say the 12 tribes of Israel, we scattered among all nations. And I'll leave it at that. You know? See somebody coming in this, that's not whatever Samuel's saying, what? All praises. See what I'm saying? Bunch of robots and robotees. This is what I'm talking against. And he come in there saying all praises. You see how we just programmed to follow whatever it is that's popular? That's not popular. I mean, that's popular, but it shouldn't be. Because you should be saying all praises to the Most High. All praises to who? The devil? The demons that's on the left-hand side? Who? You leave it wide open for anybody. Rebuke all them spirits, man. About some myself the other side. Listen, he will scourge us for our iniquities and will have mercy again and will gather us, that's we the children of Israel, out of all nations among whom he has scattered us. Because we broke the commandments of the Most High. You see? God, don't fall for that all praises, man. I mean, give all praise to the Most High. I mean, if you're gonna do it in English, give all praises to the Most High. Simple as that. Verse 6. If ye turn to him with your whole heart, your whole mind, and with your whole mind, and deal uprightly, keep his laws, statutes, and commandments before him, have faith in him, then will he turn unto you and will not hide his face from you. Therefore, see what he will do with you and confess him with your whole mouth and praise the Most High of might. And praise the Most High of might. He didn't say all praises, did it? He said, and praise the Most High. And praise the Most High of might. And praise the Most High of might. I tell you, can't extol him enough. We can't praise him enough. And praise the Most High of might. And extol the everlasting King. In the land of my captivity do I praise him. All praise to the Most High. 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 And declare his might and majesty to a sinful nation. You hear that? So understand what the scriptures is saying pertaining to what we're going to have to do, but at least you can read that and just start praising him, can't you? And then when you hear somebody say all praises, say no. No. All praises to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. Say that. Or you were sin. He's telling you what to do. Show me what the Most High in the scriptures tell you to praise all praises. And you leave it out for any entity in this world. Well, you see that in the Bible. In the land of my captivity do I praise him and declare his might and majesty to a sinful nation. O ye sinners, turn and do justice before him. Who can tell if he will accept you and have mercy on you? Let you know he ain't having mercy on everybody. Mercy is not getting you something you do deserve to get. Look, I will extol my power. What about you? So I'm going to extol the Most High. God, that's right. That's right, Samuel. All praises to the Most High. God. He said, I will extol my power. And my soul shall praise the King of heaven, man. And shall rejoice in his greatness. God. You see? What about you? I'm going to extol my power and praise his holy name. The King of heaven, man. Let all men speak. And let all praise him for his righteousness. Let all men speak. And let us praise the Most High for his righteousness, man. Verse 10 says, give praise to the Most High, for he is good. Hear that? Give praise to the Most High, for he is good. And praise the everlasting King, that his tabernacle may be built in thee again with joy. And let him make joyful there and thee those that are captives, and love in thee forever those that are miserable. Understand this, man. Many nations shall come from far to the name of the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's his name forever and more. All generations like to use that name because Jacob is the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, who was Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. Since the Most High said he's the power of Israel, if they're not of those nations, there's 12 nations that make up one nation, then they are not the Most High's people. Straight up. I mean, it's just the way it is. Many nations shall come from far to the name of the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's his name, with gifts in their hands, even gifts to the King of heaven. All generations shall praise thee with great joy. Hear that? All generations going to praise the Most. All I can tell you is, in the spirit of the Most High, I'm giving you the future in the present. If you can understand that, I'm giving you the future in the present. So if you look at how it's going to be in the future and you start operating in the present as it's going to be in the future, got a great chance, man, that we possibly, I don't know, I can't say that we'll be there, but we have an opportunity. I do believe if this is what he said we're going to be doing. All generations shall praise thee with great joy. You hear that? All generations going to praise the Most High with great joy. They're going to love praising them. Where you at? You know, this is not something that you can just look at, take lightly, you know? It says, cursed are all they which have thee. Cursed is all the people that have us, man, or at us in captivity, saving brothers. And blessed shall all be which love thee forever. Who is it that love us? I'll be asking all the time, you know? You see what just happened to the brother hanging out with Esau and his friends, so-called friends. Next thing you know, he's unalive. Cursed are all they that hate thee. You hear that? Cursed is everyone that hate us. And blessed shall all be which love thee forever. I mean, we are the most humblest people in this world, I think, because we have not rose up the strength that we do have against our enemies. And nobody love us. No nation hardly love us, man. Who really standing up for us? Nobody. Nobody. So rejoice and be glad for the children of the just. They shall be gathered together. You shall bless the Most High power of the just. Come on, I mean, what part of this you don't get? Don't you see that he want to be praised? He want to be blessed? If not, then you're going to be part of the ones that's going to get rid of. He said, let the multitude perish then. 2 Ezra 9:22. Let my grape and my plant be kept. With great labor have I made it perfect. That's the just. That remnant. It says, oh, blessed are they which love thee, for they shall rejoice in thy peace. Blessed are they which have been sorrowful for all thy scourges. Who's sorrowful for all our scourges? Name those people. They exist. Because he see when we said it, if it didn't exist, it's just where they at. Oh, blessed are they which love thee, but they shall rejoice in thy peace. Blessed are they which have been sorrowful for all thy scourges. Samuel, you having a class within my class, brother. They can either listen to you and what you posted, they can listen to what I'm dropping from the scriptures. Roll with me, man. You say, oh, blessed, this is October 17:14. Oh, blessed are they which love thee, which love us. We the Israelites. Who is that? But they shall rejoice in thy peace. We're going to have peace. We're going to have peace. Those that love us, they're going to be able to rejoice in the peace that we're going to have. Blessed are they which have been sorrowful for all thy scourges. Who is this? Who's really sorrowful for all our scourges? I've seen different nations, but at least they pretend. If they might pretend, I don't know if they was real or not, but they bow down before us, sorrowful for the things that have happened to us as the Israelites. They were sorrowful for it. But they shall rejoice they shall rejoice for thee when they have seen all thy glory, and shall be glad forever. Because we got to have a remnant of the nations that's going to be in the kingdom with us. It's going to be, and think about this, you don't know if it's the people that you around now, or we around now, could be those that's coming. They're going to be raised up, that's already locked in, they already knew, who we are and live how we are, follow what it is that we're dealing with. And there are going to be those that's going to come in, that's going to start really looking at what it is that will be able to allow them to, excuse me, be a part of this love and peace and happiness and joy that we going to have in a righteous kingdom. But they still got to deal with the judgment that's written. Nobody can stop that. Could we stop the judgment written for us? No. So nobody can stop that. It's just a matter of where they at and following what it is that the Most High say they're going to have to do, and following what these scriptures say. They're like, we have to follow what the scriptures say. Everybody got to follow what the scriptures say. Point blank. Simple as that. It says, and shall be glad forever. You hear that? And we rejoicing forever. Ain't no more tears, no more crying for us. Say, let my soul bless the Most High, the great King. For Jerusalem shall be built up with sapphires. Look at these precious stones and emeralds. Not like what we see here. Sapphires from the Most High. That he's going to make sure that's like most beautiful than anything that you could ever imagine. And emeralds and precious stone. That walls and towers and battlements with pure gold. The best gold of Ophir. Look, pure. Here it is. And the streets of Jerusalem shall be paved with beryl, and carbuncle, and stones of Ophir. That's the best gold. The streets gonna be made of gold. Come on now. And all her streets shall say, hallelujah. And they shall praise him. Oh man, come on. And they shall praise him. So I'm telling you, we're in the present right now. I'm taking you to the future, bringing the future to the present. So I believe we can have a lot of opportunity to already be in tune of what we're going to be doing in the future. Most High Thahwam, Most High will. Listen, and all her streets shall say, hallelujah. And they shall praise him, saying, blessed be the Most High, would have extolled it forever. Okay. Now that's the good feelings, right? Now let's go into it. Job 12:16. That should give you enough to feel good. At least I do. I don't know about you. I do. I feel good knowing and reading, knowing all this, and then, seeing it. Look, Job 12:16. Because this is not for everyone. And this is just discourage you from dealing with anyone outside of not being tuned into the truth, the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, and what this Bible is really saying, so that you can operate, in a correct way. Job 12:16. With him is strength and wisdom. And wisdom is the proper application of knowledge. The deceived, those that are deceived, and the deceiver are his. You hear that? The deceived and the deceiver are his. Understand, it. Because Proverbs 16:4. Something just came in the spirit. I just have to really bring it. Proverbs 16:4. The Most High have made all things for himself. Remember, the deceived, those that are deceived, and the deceiver, those that deceive people are his, right? The Most High have made all things for himself. Yeah, even the wicked for the day of evil. And you'll know that Job 9:24 says the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof, is not weighing who is. Come on now. He covered the faces of the judges thereof, is not weighing who is. Huh? Because he told the 12 apostles, they're going to sit on 12 thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. They set themselves on imposters up there to represent, you know, the 12 apostles. Only 5 people in that picture. In this picture right here, the Borgias, man, coming up. First crime family. The Borgias, man, come on. The Most High have made all things for himself. Proverbs 16:4. Yeah, even the wicked for the day of evil. And we know, if you want to just, when the Maccabees, first Maccabees 1:9, it tells you, after Alexander died instead of his 4 generals, it tell you right quick, it tell you. And after his death, after Alexander the Great death, they all put crowns upon themselves, his 4 generals, so that their sons after them pass it down to their sons. And what did it say? And so that their sons after them many years, and evils, evils, and evils were multiplied in the earth. Straight up. So the Most High made all things for himself. Yeah, even the wicked for the day of evil. That's what we're looking at. We in the day of evil. That's why when you look at how Daniel's 4:17, Daniel's 4:17, this matter is by the decree of the watchers and in the manner of the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, right? And giveth it to whosoever he will, and setteth over it what? The basis of men. The basis of men. Now, when you look at First Ezra 2:3. First Ezra 2:3. Saying, thus says Cyrus, king of the Persians, the most high power of Israel. You see, notice that Cyrus, the king of the Persians, knowing that the Most High is not the power of the Persians or the Medes. And Persians are the same ones, the Iranians that they at war with right now. This their king. Saying, that's why I said they go all the way back to this time, the Persian and Median Empire that we just read about, when about Alexander the Greek, the first emperor of the so-called white man's empire. He took down those Iranians. They just changed their name to Persians. They're the Iranians. They changed the name to Iranian, Salakia, from the Persians to the Iranians, right? Same people. Saying, thus say Cyrus, king of the Persians, the power of Israel, the most high power, you see, have made me king of the whole world. So he knew this. Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and set it up over it the basis of men. Because everybody that's been ruling over us, they're supposed to be in our service, but we messed up by not keeping the commandments of the Most High, the laws of the Most High. He said he was going to do that. He said he's going to set these nations over us for breaking his laws, statutes, commandments. So when you look at when Mashiach was tempted for 40 days and 40 nights in Matthew, the 4th chapter, when you look at verse Matthew 4:5, it says, then the devil, taking him up into a holy city and setting him on the pinnacle of the temple, and said to him, if thou be the Son of Man, cast thyself down, for it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning thee, And in their hands, they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. Because he coming with what King David said in Psalm 91. And he said, the Mashiach said to him, it is written again in the law, thou shalt not tempt the Most High thy power, right? He going to the law every time he rebuked the devil. That's why I say these preachers are not teaching people how to rebuke the devil. For real, for real. For real, for real. I mean, Deuteronomy 6:16. I mean, just showing you. And I'm going here to show you that the devil, all he got is power. And you tell him, he's going to tell you. Remember, the Most High set up over the kingdoms, the bases of men. Deuteronomy 6:16. You shall not tempt the Most High your power. You see, that's what the Mashiach quoted. So all you that say you reading out of context, tell the Mashiach he reading out of context. Hmm? Did he finish that rest of that scripture? In Deuteronomy 6:16? Did he? Talk to me. Did he? What did he tell the devil? Mashiach said to him, it is written again, Matthew 4:7. Thou shalt not tempt the Most High your power. Y'all talking about we read out of context. That's why the scriptures are written precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line upon line, here a little and there a little. He just got that. That's all you need, that little to rebuke the devil. Going back to Matthew 4:8. Again, the devil taking him up into an exceeding high mountain and show him all the kingdoms of the world, including this kingdoms that's in this world and the glory of them. So he's seeing all this. And said to him, all these things will I give thee if thou wilt fall down and worship me. So the devil wants a much outside, and anyone that's going to be ruling these kingdoms to worship him. This is how this works. Then said a much outside unto him, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Most High your power. Thy power is your power, and him only shall thou serve. Right? Straight up. So he said, hey, what did the devil say? All these things will I give thee if thou wilt worship, fall down and worship me. Straight up. He told him he'd give him all the glory of these kingdoms because it was given to him. Look at the rendition of in Luke the 4th chapter, the same thing. He told him, he said, Luke 4:6, and the devil said to him, all this power, he showed him all the kingdoms, just like we just read in Matthew 4, said, all this power will I give thee, and the glory of them, for that is delivered unto me. Remember the Most High say he gives to whoever he will, and give it to the bases of men. So he said it's been given to the devil, to Satan. Hear what he said? And the devil said to him, Luke 4:6, all this power will I give thee, and the glory of them, of all these kingdoms, from that point on, to that point, from the past, the present, the future, will I give thee, he said, and the glory of them, for that is delivered unto me. The Most High gave it to him, and to whomsoever I will, I give it. If thou therefore wilt worship me, all shall be thine. So that's what people are doing. And the Mashiach shall rebuke them with the law. That's why you preachers cannot show anyone how to rebuke the devil if you say we're not under the law. Point blank. You cannot say that we're under the following of Mashiach Yahushua, I might say. And you don't go to the law to rebuke him. Uh-oh. Salaki. You see this? So that's why it's so important that we look at this and recognize how we've been duped, man. We've been fooled, man. Somewhere or another, we've been fooled. Look at Revelation 18:23. So people that's ruling the world is operating on the spirit of Satan, the devil. Revelation 18:23, the last sentence is, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. So they working on a high level of witchcraft, even their pharmaceutical drugs and so forth. They working with the devil on a high level, and we're gonna look at all this, and what's going on, because it says, for by thy sorceries, not sorcery, but sorceries, that's witchcrafts, were all nations deceived. You see? By the witchcrafts were all nations deceived. And let's go to Job 15. Job 15. Job 15:5. For thy mouth uttereth thine iniquity, and thou choosest the tongue of the crafty. You see that? It say, their mouth uttereth thine wickedness. And the people have a spell on them to not realize that they're speaking wickedness. But people will find that they're doing it, so okay, I'm gonna do it. They're doing it, so I'm gonna do it. You see? For thy mouth uttereth thine iniquity, and thou choosest the tongue of the crafty. Y'all speaking the things of the crafty. They crafty. The devil is real. The devil is slick and cunning and crafty. That's why thy mouth uttereth thine iniquity, and thou choosest the tongue of the crafty. So with the crafty, you know, people are choosing the tongue, the language of the crafty, when the crafty mouth, what their words are speaking, is wickedness. That's why I say they deceive the people through their sorceries, witchcrafts. Because I can use that one. 2 Corinthians 4:4. That's Ma'ara Ashtabar. That's you. 4:4. 2 Corinthians 4:4. In whom the God or the power of this world, well, let's read verse 3 first. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. You see, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the power of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not. They don't believe. Lest the light of the glorious gospel of Mashiach Yahushua, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them. And that light we know is Proverbs 6:23 all day long. That law is light that the Most High wrote with his finger. But they're not going to really deal with that because they don't believe that we under the law. They're not teaching we under the law, but under grace. You don't even know what that is, man. Know what they're saying, man. How offensive is that? Look what it says. Job 15:5. For thy mouth uttereth thine iniquity, and thou choosest the tongue of the crafty. You know, our people choose the words of the crafty. That's why they're under the spell. And they lost. behind the God of this world, the power of this world, have blinded the minds of them that are to believe not. Listen what it says, verse 6. Thine own mouth condemneth thee, and not I. Yeah, thine own lips testify against thee. And these are the things, that's why I must always say, you're going to give account of every word that's spoken in the day of judgment. Isaiah 47:5. It's a method that's been done that have everybody twisted, man. And that's why I'm trying to figure out how is it that you're going away. We should get closer and closer to the Most High instead of going away from Him. Talking about all praises and APTTMH and all that. Come on, man. Y'all follow the crowd if you want to. As for me, I'm going to praise the Most High. All praise to the Most High. Wholeheartedly. Isaiah 47:5 is talking to the Edomites, the super part of earth. Sit thou silent, so be quiet, and get thee in the darkness. Straight up. That's ignorance, not knowing. O daughter of the Chaldeans, but thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. Okay? Isaiah 60:2. So he told them to get into ignorance, and they got into ignorance. Nobody can vouch for the fact that they fell in 193 AD, was ran into the Caucasus Mountains, and they went into darkness, ignorance. That's why they have the History Channel, they have Discovery Channel and so forth. They're trying to find out things that they missed out on. So for anyone to just follow their way of saying that they're the ones that is supposed to be teaching this truth in these last days, no. Listen, Most I told them to shut up and get thee in the darkness. And they went in the darkness, ignorance, not knowing, in the Caucasus Mountains. Now here it is, Isaiah 60:2. It says, for behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. You see? When he told them to get into darkness, ignorance, it says darkness shall cover the earth, and gross ignorance, gross darkness the people. But the Most High shall arise upon thee, the men of Israel that he called in these last days, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. That's why I said, verse 1 said, arise. Come, Yahshua, say, arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Most High is risen upon thee. Not upon anyone else, no one else but us. Job 15, go back to Job 15. See? In that light, we can read it in Proverbs 6:23. For anyone that don't know what that light is, because when you see light, here it is right here. For the commandment is a lamp. Proverbs 6:23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light. You see? The law that the Most High wrote with his finger, that's light. The law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. Right? So when you're looking at going back to Job 15 and Job 15, we're going to look at verse 16, start at verse 16. How much more abominable and filthy is man, which drinketh iniquity like water? How? Think about it. Because Most High said in 1 John 5:3, for this is the love of the Most High, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous, right? So it's saying here, how much more abominable and filthy is man, which drinketh iniquity like water? Who will tell you that you're not under the commandments? You ain't got to keep the laws of the Most High. We ain't under the laws. So what are you doing? You drinking iniquity like water. So I will show thee, hear me. Shema, the Most High said, and that which I have seen, I will declare. Which wise men have told from their fathers and have not hid it? Which wise men have told from their fathers, just like I told you earlier. We're going into the Bible and we're dealing with our forefathers by going into the Bible and seeing what it is that we're seeing to bring forth the understanding of what our forefathers left here for us in the spirit, the wicked and the righteous. You can't leave the wicked out. Because you leave the wicked out, you be following what they doing and you be wicked just right along with them. Because some of y'all the same people, just back here, just a different day and time. Which wise men have, and some are, those that were part of the righteous. Which wise men have told from their fathers and have not hid it, while we know it today, under whom alone the earth was given, and no stranger passed among them. The wicked man travaileth with pain all his days, and the number of his years is hidden to the oppressor. See that? Wicked man travaileth with pain all his days, and we went into captivity behind what the wicked man done. The righteous went into captivity behind what the wicked man done. And y'all, these days of the time, they said, well, it wasn't me that had y'all in slavery, but you still got to pay the price. Like we paid the price for what our wicked ancestors did. We got to pay the same price. That's what it is. The wicked man travaileth with pain all his days, and the number of years is hidden to the oppressor. You don't know. The number of years, you don't know. It's hidden to the oppressor. But you know one thing, you know that he gonna feel, the judgment of the Most High. A dreadful sound is in his ears. You hear that? A dreadful sound is in his ears. His prosperity, the destroyer shall come upon him. In prosperity, him living large, got all the money in the world, billions to trillions, right? It says, in prosperity, the destroyer shall come upon him. In prosperity, say the destroyer shall come upon him. He believeth not that he shall return out of darkness, and he is waited for of the sword. Keep this in mind. He believeth not that he will return out of darkness, and he is waited for the sword, for of the sword, right? So look at, because it tells you in verse 21, a dreadful sound is in his ears. That dreadful sound in his ears, nobody knows. If you're not the wicked in charge of his prosperity, say a dreadful sound is in his ears. And we as Israelites don't have that prosperity that they have, spending billions on just bombing people. We don't have that kind of money. In prosperity, it says the destroyer shall come upon him. Who is that destroyer? Let's find out. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 10. Yeah, let's find out a little bit. 1 Corinthians 10 says the destroyer shall come upon him, right? Let's go to 1 Corinthians, the 10th chapter. Let's see who that destroyer could be. You pay attention to this, preachers. 1 Corinthians 10. I'm going to start at verse 1. It's amazing to me. How can you read the New Testament and okay, we're going to read this and you're going to see what is actually talking about and where you have to go to understand or find out the subject matter that it's talking about. 1 Corinthians 10, we're going to read from 1 to 4. Moreover, brethren, speaking of the Israelites, we the brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant, not knowing. Remember, everybody's in gross darkness, gross ignorance. He said, I would not that you should be ignorant, not knowing how that all our fathers, our forefathers, were under the cloud. Under the cloud. We're under the cloud that was leading us by day, and was a chariot, and at night, it turned into fire to lead us by night, and we was moving in the wilderness. Just talk about us being in the wilderness. After we came out of Egyptian captivity, being led by Moses and Aaron, is a cloud, right? Which is a chariot. When you read Psalms 104 and 3, and all passed through the sea, the Red Sea. Remember, the Most High opened up the sea, and we went to the sea on dry ground. And we're all baptized into Moses in the cloud and in the sea. So you got to go back to the first 5 books of the Bible to see what it's talking about, to understand what it's talking about. And did all eat the same spiritual meat. Did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock, that angelic rock that followed them, and that rock was a Mashiach. See that? That rock was a Mashiach. Now let's jump down to verse 9. It says, neither let us tempt the Mashiach. We in the wilderness now. And it says, neither let us tempt the Mashiach, as some of them also tempted, we the Israelites, in the wilderness, and were destroyed of serpents. Who's it talking about? Neither let us tempt the Mashiach, as some of them also tempted, and were destroyed of serpents. Poison snakes ate us up. Listen, verse 10. Neither murmur ye, as some of them also murmured, and were destroyed of the destroyer. You see that? That's a destroyer right there. Who is it? Verse 9, neither let us tempt a Mashiach. What it said, verse 10, neither murmur ye, as some of them also murmured, and were destroyed of the destroyer, a Mashiach Yahushua. Right there. But if you don't know from what it said, the destroyer, where was that? You don't know that it's talking about a Mashiach Yahushua. How are you going to really understand this Bible? Neither murmur ye, verse 10 of 1 Corinthians, the 10th chapter, as some of them also murmured and were destroyed of the destroyer. Yahushua is a destroyer. He already a destroyer. So when he come back, you see, as he come back, you're going to see you putting in work. He already know how to put in work. Now, all these things happen unto them for examples, and they are written for our admonition. Now, we started this lesson out. Inquire of the past, inquire of your, forefathers and so forth. They are written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are coming. That's us. All praises to the Most High. Go back to Job 15. See, that's why it's very important that we know these scriptures. Job 15 and 20. The wicked man filled with pain all his days, and the number of his years is hidden to the oppressor. A dreadful sound is in his ears. In the wicked man's ears is a dreadful sound. In prosperity, the destroyer shall come upon him. You know that? In prosperity, the destroyer shall come upon him. Could be living lives. Who the destroyer? A Mashiach Yahushua. He's going to come upon him, right? He believeth not that he shall return out of darkness, and he is waited for of the sword, right? So look at Revelations 19. Revelation 19 and 11. He is waited of the sword. Let's see. Revelation 19:11. And I saw heaven open. John read us on the island of Patmos. He's the only one that they didn't crucify. They put him on the island of Patmos. Of old age, to die of old age. Yes, And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, pure righteous power. And he that sat upon it was called faithful and true. This is a Mashiach Yahushua. And in righteousness, he does judge and make war. You see? He coming to judge and make war in righteousness. And we know what righteousness is, right, class? Deuteronomy 6:25. And for anyone else that inquires, what's righteousness? Let's define it by the Bible. Deuteronomy 6:25. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Most High, our power, as he have commanded us. So the commandments, the laws, that's how you're coming back to judge. By the commandments and the laws of the Most High, the same commandments and laws that you saying as a preacher that we not under. We ain't got to follow. You're going to have people being burnt up. That's the judgment. What you think they do in war? That's what they do in war. It says, in righteousness, according to the laws of the Most High, the commandments of the Most High, he does judge and make war. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, powers and authorities, because he's taking every kingdom down. He's going to have all the crowns on his head. And he had a name written was that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, because he coming to war, make war. And his name is called the Word of the Most High. And the armies which were in heaven followed him. The angels that are in heaven followed the Mashiach Yahushua upon white horse, pure righteous power. That's what it's talking about. Clothed in fine linen. They're not no butt-naked babies or angels. Clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth go up a sharp sword. Remember the wicked, you know, they waiting for that sword. They're going to be dealt with that sword. Out of his mouth go up a sharp sword. That with this sharp sword, he should smite or kill the nations. Ain't no nation ever came out of power without warfare. That's why you see them warring now. And they want that land. When they war, they want to kill people, and then they take the land from them. This was what Mashiach going to do. He's going to smite, he's going to kill the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, according to the laws and the commandments of the Most High. And he treaded the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty Most High. Point blank. Okay? So now, look at, go back to Job 15. Job 15. Job 15 and 21. A dreadful sound is in his ears. A dreadful sound. Gonna be very dreadful when you hear the power that Mashiach is coming back to the power of the Most High. A dreadful sound is in his ears. In prosperity, the destroyer shall come upon him. We just read about him. Come under judge and make war. That's right. It says, verse 22, he believeth not that he shall return out of darkness. And he is waited for of the sword. I would just said. And what the Mashiach said? He's going to smite the nation with a sword. That's what he said. Verse 30. He shall not depart out of darkness. Hear that? He shall not depart out of darkness, out of ignorance, not knowing. The flame shall dry up his branches, and by the breath of his mouth shall he go away. Hear that? By the breath of his mouth shall he go away. Job 4 and 9. By the breath of his mouth shall he go away. Job 4 and 9. By the blast of the Most High they perish. By the blast of Mashiach Yahushua they perish. And by the breath of his nostrils are they consumed, right? Future prophecy. Second Thessalonians 2 and 8. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom Mashiach Yahushua shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. Y'all with me? He will consume through that fire with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Oh, yeah. Y'all know where I'm going next in 2nd Ezra 13. 2nd Ezra 13. Let's see what's up here. 2nd Ezra 13. So all the army, the navy, the marines, the air forces of all the nations going to stop fighting. They're going to join together to fight on Mashiach Yahushua. So Second Ezra 13, and we're gonna look at verse 8 to 11. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together, that's the army, the navy, the marines, the air forces, all together to fight on Mashiach Yahushua, to subdue him, were so afraid. They're gonna be scared. They're gonna be afraid. And yet does fight. Mashiach Yahushua, right? Listen, and lo, remember, you're gonna smite the nations. Out of his mouth will come a sharp sword, and he should smite the nations. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his head, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, what's coming out of his mouth? As it had been a blast of fire. See? A blast of fire. Come with that fire, y'all. And out of his lips a flaming breath. And out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. He gonna get him. He gonna he gonna get him through the nose. Look, remember we read. Look, Job 4:9. By the blast of the Hamashiach Yahushua, they perish, and by the breath of his nostrils are they consumed. So he gonna blow out of his nose and blow out of his mouth. Hey, here we look at that coming out of his mouth. You always said out of his nostrils. You're going to get him out coming out of his nose. You're going to get him coming out of his mouth. It says, 2 13:9, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, and he neither lifted up his hand nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together. What was mixed together? The blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the tempest, fire, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up. Everyone. He ain't saving no one, it says. And burned them up, everyone, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid, he said. Ezra became afraid, John. When you sing that, Isaiah 34. Isaiah 34. So ain't nothing going to be perceived but only dust and smell of smoke. That's why the nation going to be cleaving to us. So ain't no more protection. Ain't no more Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, none of that. It's gone. It's finished. Look, Isaiah 34:1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, listen, ye people, let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. Look at what it says, verse 2. For the indignation of the Most High, Mashiach, he coming in the power of Most High, is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. Like we just read. You know, you can read the whole thing if you want to in 2 Ezra 13, but you see here it's telling you, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. That's what it says. The slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. It can be everywhere. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved. This is just like a atomic bomb, nuclear bomb. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. And all the hosts, that's the armies, shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as the falling fig from the fig tree. Listen, he said, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Heaven is right on this earth. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. That's what he's talking about. Idumea, look up Idumea in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Idumea It says Edom. It said pertaining to Edom, the biblical name for the Caucasian race, Greek and Roman name for Edom. So he says it's going to come down upon the superpower of earth, which is the Edomites, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. It say the sword of the Most High is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, with the blood of the lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Most High has a sacrifice in Basra, that's the capital city of Edom, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. That's what he's saying. Verse 8, so for it is the day of the Most High, Shai's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. You see? And we're Zion, the children of Israel, for the problem that they have had with us and the things that they have done to his chosen people. He said it was just a little angry. They helped forward the affliction. That's why who is Zion? Isaiah 51 and 16. And I have put my words in thy mouth, and I have covered thee in the shadow of my hand, that I may plant the heavens and lay the foundations of the earth, and say unto Zion, thou art my people. Right? And that's not just anybody that just call the name of Jesus. Y'all say that's how you become his people. I don't think so. I don't think so. 2 Samuel 7 and 10 tells us who his people are. Second Samuel 7 and 10. Who's my people? According to the scriptures. 2 Samuel 7 and 10. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel. See that? My people Israel. And will plant them that they may dwell in a place of their own and move no more. Neither shall the children of wickedness afflict them anymore. As before time, let you know. Hey, we ain't gonna be afflicted no more. The future. Say, hey, he gonna plant us in our land of Israel. Excuse me, that's what the Most High said he gonna do. My people Israel. So that's what he's talking about. The Israelites. Now, 2nd Ezra 13:37. For all you that don't believe in Mashiach Yahushua in the Old Testament, here it is. And this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations. That's the army, the navy, the marines, the air forces, of all their ordinances, all their war weapons that they have coming against them, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest, which is the fire that he's coming back with, that's coming out of his mouth. And shall lay before them their evil thoughts, and the torment wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame. What causes a flame? Fire. And he shall destroy them without labor. Remember, it's coming out of his mouth by the law. He's going to be speaking the law from his mouth and burning them up, which is like unto fire. Come on. Psalms 50 and 3. Psalms 50 and 3. Psalms 50 and 3. Our power shall come, and shall not keep silence. A fire shall devour before him. Our power come, and shall not keep silent. A fire shall devour before him, and it shall be very tempestuous round about him. Come with that fire. Isaiah 11 and 4. Isaiah 11, chapter verse 4. That's why knowing all this, you should get really, really intense to be in much as you can with the Most High, man. Isaiah 11 and 4. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor But with righteousness, which is the laws and the commandments of the Most High, shall he judge the poor. The same laws and commandments that these preachers are saying you're not under. Shame on you. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And we just read. He's going to judge them by the law and with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. You hear that? Make it mean something different from what we just going over. Make it mean something different. He said, but with righteousness shall he judge the poor. So don't think that you can just follow whatever they tell you. You ain't got to follow the law of the Most High. When he said, but with righteousness shall he judge the poor. And we the poor, the Israelites, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And we the meek of the earth. And he shall smite, he shall kill, unalive the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. Thus say the Most High's word. The righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins. That's why I tell you in Revelations, was that 14 and 12? Righteousness is the commandments, the laws, and the faith right here. Revelation 14 and 12, here's the patience of the saints. We the Israelites, who are the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of a Mashiach Yahushua. It ain't changing. Still there. It's always going to be there. Ephesians 5. Ephesians, the 5th chapter. Ephesians, the 5th chapter, verse 14. Wherefore he said to us, awake, thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Mashiach shall give thee light. You see? Say, awake. Wake up, smack, wake up, thou that sleepest. Because remember, like I said, you understand, they have deceived the people through their sorceries. So a lot of people out there under spells, they really can't understand this because of the fact that they still, sleep. That's why he's saying, awake, thou that sleepeth. When you sleep, you're in darkness. Remember, they put the people in gross darkness, gross ignorance. So they really can't see what it is that we're bringing out because they sleep. They've been put asleep through the spell that's on them through their sorceries. But matter of fact, it's not only sorcery. Let me show you how deep it is. Go to Isaiah 47th chapter. Show you about this sorcery. Isaiah the 47th chapter. We're gonna look at verse 12. Isaiah 47th chapter, verse 12. This is how deep it is. Say, stand now. It's like clowning them. It says, stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries. It ain't only just sorceries, it's a multitude of sorceries. A multitude of sorceries. You hear that? A multitude of sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou may be able to profit. If so be thou may prevail for what they're doing against the Most High's chosen people. And first and foremost, first and foremost against him, against the Mashiach Yahushua and his people. He said, thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers and the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators, all these things they believe in besides the Most High, stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee that we read about. Behold, they shall be as stubble. The future prophecy, they're going to be as stubble. The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. That's what we're talking about. Isn't myself come up with that tempest, that fire? You say they're going to be like stubble. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to sit before it. Thus shall they be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchant from thy youth. They shall wander everyone to his court. They're going back home. None shall save thee. Ain't nobody going to save them from this. It's judgment. Ephesians 5:14. Wherefore he said, awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and the Mashiach shall give thee light. See, when you start to understand and you hold fast to what it is that you're supposed to believe in and believe it in as true, then you will hold fast to operating in the truth rather than just compromise. Ain't no compromise with this, man. It takes a lot of studying and a lot of allowing your spirit to be touched by the Most High while Mashiach Yahushua and his holy angels to come out of this gross darkness, gross ignorance, come out of the spell that you got to come out of, that some of you still in because you haven't really been purged of the world that you came from. You still want to hold on to that world and bring that world into the truth. How many times I've seen that? I had to let go of everything. I know a lot. I had to let go of everything and start from scratch and learn from brothers that was like 15, 20 years younger than me. You just start from scratch and learn what it is that they had to give to be able to continue to go forward rather than just trying to bring in my world into this. No. All praise to the Most High about so much like that was solid. Listen, still be enduring. A lot of them not enduring no more. Because they still was of the world like a lot of you probably still of the world. You still the same old man, still the same old woman. You ain't really converted yourself into how you should be and being in this truth. That's why it says, wherefore he said, Ephesians 5:14, awake, thou that sleepeth, and arise from the dead. We're in a dead state of mind. We handle the Bible and say, okay, show me this, show me this, show me this topic, show me you can use any means that you want to. And you can't do it, then you don't really know what this is about. You still sleep and arise from the dead. We're in a dead state of mind. And Mashiach Yahushua shall give thee light. That light is the commandments of the Most High. We read that in Proverbs 6:23. Then, see then that ye walk circumspectly, carefully, cautious, not as fools, but as wise, man. Redeeming the time because the days are evil, Redeeming the time because the days are evil. Remember, we read in First Maccabees 1:9, when the Greeks came into power, it said evil shall multiply in the earth. After Alexander the Greek died, he set up his four generals, said evil shall multiply in the earth. That's why I say, saying then that you walk circumspectly, cautiously and carefully, not as fools, but as wise, having his wisdom. He said, redeeming the time because the days are evil. He said, redeeming the time because the days we live in is evil. Wherefore, be ye not unwise. See, and people are unwise. You're unwise. You're just going to follow someone, okay, who it is, that's telling you to do something that's contrary to what the Most High, especially the Most High. Ain't nothing, no more, nothing's important than him. No one, nothing more important than him. That's serious. You got to think about it. Or challenge me on the fact that you don't have to praise the Most High. You ain't got to say praise the Most High. Debate that. He said, redeeming the time because the days are evil. Repent. For the kingdom of heaven is at hand, man. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Most High is, man. The will of the Most High is what we're looking at. The things that he's telling us to do. You know, love the Most High with all our heart, mind, and soul. You ain't loving him. You can't praise him. You can't glorify him. You can't extol him. Come on. That's something real easy to do. All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. Y'all better learn to praise the Most High. He's the only one going to redeem us. Romans 13. Romans 13 and 11. And that knowing the time, got to know the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. It's high time to wake out of sleep, man. Meaning being ignorant and not knowing. But now is our salvation, powers, and authority nearer than when we believe. You hear them hollering, Armageddon. It's Armageddon. It's the end of the world. As they fighting, the Euphrates done dried up. That the kings can come through, the kings of the east can come through for this great war that's getting ready to jump off, man. Earthquakes in diverse places. Wake, man. Just say, hey. And that knowing the time, that now is high time to awake out of sleep. But now is our salvation nearer than when we believe. The night is far spent. This the night that we in now. Ignorance is far spent. Gross darkness to people. Gross ignorance to people. The night is far spent. Because they got spells on them through the multitude of sorceries that they have on this earth right now. The night is far spent. The day is at hand. The day is at hand, meaning the Mashiach the day. He the light, shining bright. And we, the little lights before he come, to shine bright with his light. You know? The night is far spent. The day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness. Cast off the works of the gross darkness that Esau put the people in, as you read in Isaiah 60 and 2, when the Most High told him to shut up and get thee in the darkness in Isaiah 47 and 5. That's what he's saying, cast off the works of darkness. Cast off the works that he had put you under. For real. And let us put on the armor of light. Put on the armor of light. It's very important. Proverbs 6:23. Armor is for protection, y'all. Armor is for protection. Protection of light. It's hip talk. But you got to know, you can't be no super duper square to not know that what it's talking about. You can't just look at what these preachers saying, making up something to say it's talking about this, that, or third. Let's see what it's talking about. Proverbs 6:25, 6:23. Proverbs 6:23. But a commandment is a lamp, and the law is light. You see, the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light. And reproofs of instruction are the way of life, you see. But that light is the law. Because people are looking at it somehow, this ain't for everybody. That's why Masha would say, he the light. Read John and say, he the light. But what he's telling you, he's an example. Like he told us in 1 Corinthians, he was an example. When he was, the destroyer was an example for us today to know, hey, man, you better get right with the Most High. He's going to send a destroyer on us. He coming again. Come on. I mean, it's going to happen. No matter how you look at it, he's going to start with his sanctuary. One way or another. That's why we got to get it together. Got to have it together. We got no time to be playing. Ephesians 6. Ephesians 6. Because you see, it's a perpetual hatred against us. Ain't no love for us. And even Edomites are telling you, don't be hanging out with them. They tell you now, I see all kinds of people, they say, we don't even hang out with certain ones of our people, their people. They saying, how are we going to hang out with them? They telling you, don't do it. You got to recognize Ephesians 6 and 10. Finally, my brethren. So it's not talking to everyone. his brethren, the Israelites. Be strong. Be strong in the name of the Lord and Savior, and in the power of his might, spiritual power. So put on the whole armor, protection of the Most High, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. That's real key right there. You got to put on the commandments, and it's really, I didn't go through all the case scenarios of what the Mashiach used to rebuke the devil, but I told you, and I went to the law when he was dealt with the devil. He went to the law every single time to rebuke the devil. Understand those things. But they try and get you away from being able to rebuke the devil because they might be the devil in disguise. Think about it. I mean, saying, put on the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Right? How did Mashiach stand against the wiles of the devil? He went to the law every single time. Every single time he went to the law. When he was fasting for 40 days and 40 nights, started his ministry at 30 years old. Ministry from 30 to 50. When you're 51 on, you're an elder. When you're 51 years old on, you're an elder. Not 50, because you're still in the ministry at 50. 30 to 50 years old, you are in the ministry. 50, that's Numbers, the 4th chapter, all day long. That's in the law. So he was 30 years old when he started his ministry, right? And the devil tempted him, and every time he tempted him, he went to the law of Moses, to the law that the Most High wrote with his finger. Put it like that. The same law that you said we ain't got to follow if you're a preacher of today. You're still my brother, but you're just off. You got to understand how you going to be saying that Christian mean Christ like you're going to do what he did. Make that make sense? You got to give me an explanation. You got to say, I don't have to do what he did to rebuke the devil. You ain't teaching the people how to rebuke the devil because you saying you're not under the law. And that's what he used to rebuke the devil. The devil had to leave him alone because he can't deal with the law. He couldn't go to the law. He went to what King David said in Psalm 91 and 10, 11, 12. I mean, he couldn't go to the law. You see? So you're an elder. You're 54, you're an elder. You see? And these are the things that we got to look at that works. I look for solutions. When I go to the Bible, I'm reading for solutions and things that didn't work. Things that didn't work, solutions, this work. That's why when we started, if you go back, if you're just coming in, go back to the beginning, it was saying, go to our forefathers, go to our fathers. We're looking at our fathers right now in the book of Ephesians. These are our people that's living in the land of Ephesus, the Israelites, that Paul is dealing with right here, Israelites. Point blank. I mean, Ephesians 1 and 1. I mean, when you go to the beginning of these chapters, it'll tell you who it's talking to. Ephesians 1 and 1. Paul, the apostle of Mashiach Yahushua, by the will of the Most High, to the saints, which are at Ephesus, and to the faithful in Mashiach Yahushua, Basham Mashiach Yahushua. Those that's rolling in the name of the Lord, they already know about Mashiach Yahushua. See, some people didn't know about him. That's why he's saying the faithful in Mashiach Yahushua, and these Gentiles are saying, yeah, that's me. No, because they're not teaching the moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws. They ain't following the moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws. They following Christmas, Easter, Halloween, 4th of July, you name it, Memorial Day, they following all the holidays, and they not following no holy days that the Most High said we're supposed to be following. No way. So it's not dealing with them. They can say, that's me, the faithful in the Mashiach Yahushua, but they're not faithful in him. When they put up a picture of demonic Caesar Borgia, come on. This is what they believe in, and that's a lie. Straight up. This is a picture drawn by Warner Salmon in the 1930s. You understand? So now, you see, it's talking to the Israelite. Look, point blank. Paul, an apostle. This is Ephesians 1 and 1. You can do this in any of the chapters of the New Testament, pretty much. Paul, an apostle of Mashiach Yahushua, by the will of the Most High, to the saints. Who the saints? We got to define it. Psalms 148:14. Psalm 148:14 defines who the saints are. He also exalted the horn, which is the power of his people, the praise of all his saints. Just the definition of the saints, even of the children of Israel, who will be a people near unto him. Praise ye the Most High. 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 So you see, the saints are even the children of Israel, who will be a people near to the Most High. Praise ye the Most High. So that's the saints, which are Ephesus. Okay. Now, going back to this is how you deal with who these verses are talking to. Ephesians 1 and 2. Grace be to you. So we know the saints are the Israelites, and to the faithful that's rolling by Shama Mashiach Yahushua with the right of Mashiach Yahushua, not this so-called white man that they have set up, different ones they've set up. You see? It says, grace be to you. We just proven who the book of Ephesians talking to. Grace be to you and peace from the Most High, our Father. You see? The Most High, the power of who? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And from Mashiach Yahushua. Okay? Who the grace for? Y'all should know this, brother. Should know how to deal with defining who the grace is for. This is not a review. Should be to some of you. That's why I have to go over this. Those that are new, they don't know. We're going to get the short version. What's the short version? Wisdom of Solomon 4:15. This the people saw and understood it not, neither laid they up this in their minds, that his grace and mercy is with his saints. That's why we define the saints. Who the saints? Even of the children of Israel, who are we? Are people near to the Most High. Praise ye the Most High. So for his grace and mercy is with his saints. That's clear. And he have respect unto his chosen, who are the children of Israel. Exodus 2:25. Most have respect unto Israel. Point blank. So we see that grace be to you. The grace and mercy is to his saints, who are the Israelites. That's how you eliminate any kind of confusion and peace, from the Most High, our Father. Let's go over to Mashiach. Identify the Most High's name. He called him by his name. Let's see. Oh, Matthew 22:31 and 32. Matthew 22:31 and 32. But as touching the resurrection of the dead, have ye not read that which was spoken unto you by the Most High, saying, I am the Most High, saying, I am the power of Abraham, and the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob. The Most High is not the power of the dead, but of the living. Right? So he's the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's his name. And memorial to all generations. You see? So that's the Most High. The Mashiach said, Matthew 15:24. Said out of his own mouth. Matthew 15:24. But he answered and said, I have not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That's it. Clears that up. So the book of Ephesians talking to the Israelites. Ephesians 5. It says, hey, verse 15 says, hey, see then that ye walk circumspectly, cautiously, carefully, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil. You hear that? The days are evil, y'all. Say, wherefore be ye not unwise. Better be trying to get as much wisdom as you can while you can get it. Before the war hits the streets of America, what you gonna do then? A lot of y'all just go back to whoever it is that's in the world and die with them. But understanding what the will of the Most High is, he tell you what we're supposed to be doing. Job 14. Job 14 and 4, because you got these people, man, that's not tapped into the Most High. You can't go backwards, yo. I hope you understand that. You can't go backwards. If they're not there, you know they're not there, and all of a sudden everything, all havoc hits, and then you running back to the world. Well, that's a suicide. Job 14 and 4. Who could bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. Hmm? You're gonna make them clean. You know they unclean now. Think about this. You know, people that's around you, the people that's all amongst us is unclean. They're eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, whatever. They doing all kind of abominable things. They go to the church on the worshiping the sun and all that. They're not dealing with the laws of the Most High. They're not dealing with the commandments of the Most High. They ain't dealing with having faith in the Most High. They're not recognizing him as the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All the things that, you know, moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws, they told you ain't under the law. We ain't under no law. You ain't never been under no law. And this is what our people say. They Gentiles, they ain't Israelites, because the Jews killed him. They said, no, he came into his own received him not. They don't read, that's from John 1 and 10, but they don't read verse 12 where it say, but as many as received him gave he power, that spiritual power, to become the sons of the Most High, even to them that believe on Bashama Mashak. But real for real. And not just some fake in the name of Jesus. And have this dude in their mind been programmed and say you don't matter how you look. Our people really will come with it. It don't matter how you look. Don't matter how you look then. When you start talking about them and they got a problem, it don't matter how he look, don't matter how you look, right? You start talking about they ugly, this, that, the third, whatever, they're gonna have a problem, right? But when you comes to him, who they supposed to believe in, it don't matter how he look. Give me a break, get out. How you love him and look loud enough to go down? You don't run back to them. Get out of here, man. Job 14 and 4. Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. It's a certain amount of time. That's why my Shabbat said this. A certain amount of time, man. Most High has appointed his bounds, how far he can go, and how long he's gonna be in power. That he cannot extend it. Why he said in Matthew 24 and 36. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. You see? And he goes on to say, meaning that day that he's going to fulfill what it says here. Job 14 and 5, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. It says, Matthew 24, pay attention in 37. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. And Noah was saying it's going to rain. You know, I'm prophesying the Most High going to bring fire on this earth. You're going to melt people if you don't come back to him. Got a choice to choose life or death. Which one do you choose? He's telling you, like Noah. Noah says it's going to rain. It never rained. It ain't never rained no fire. We ain't seen no fire coming down from heaven like it's going to happen. Like we just read about a Mashak Yahushua. So he's going to burn them up. Every one. Ain't going to be nothing but dust and smell of smoke. That's from fire. For as the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark. You know, they was married and having a good time, partying, doing that thing, till the day that Noah went into the ark. until the day that he come and make sure that we out of the way of the fire that he's going to bring on this earth. Too late then. And knew not until the flood came. And they ain't going to know until that fire come and took them all away. Killed everybody except for Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and Noah and their wives. You see. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Then shall two be in the field, and one shall be taken, and the other left. So I let you know, he don't want everybody to be saved. Two women shall be grinding at the mill. I mean, they'll have jobs. The one, you ain't talking about grinding together and all that madness. Man, get out of here. One shall be taken and the other left. Watch therefore, for you know not what hour your power does come. He coming. We done read about it. Go back in this lesson. Revelation, we went to Revelation 19 and 11. Be coming to judge and make war in righteousness. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known and would watch, the thief would come, he would have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. You know, that's why we got to be watched. But you got to know what to watch for. It says, therefore, be ye also ready. Like I said, you got to be ready, so you ain't got to get ready. That's why I say, therefore, be ye also ready. For in such an hour as you think not, the Son of Man cometh. See? That's why you got to know these prophecies and see what's going on in the world, inquire, know what to watch for, so you be ready. He said, be ye ready. He said, get ready. He said, be ye ready. Straight up. Got to be ready. Job 14 and 4. Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? You know they wicked. You're going to bring cleanness out of their wickedness. I don't think so. Not one, he said, not one. Saying his days are determined. The number of his months are with thee. Thou was appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. There's a certain amount of time. That's why I tell you in 2 Ezra 6 and 9, 2 Ezra 6 and 9, for Esau is the end of the world. Meaning Esau would have to be ruled during the end of the world. What we just read in Isaiah 34th chapter, where it says, he have a slaughter in Idumea, which represent Edom, Rome. This is the latter end of the Greco-Roman Empire that we in right now. It says, for Esau is the end of the world. And Jacob's the beginning of it that followeth. He got next forever. So what's saying? Job 14 and 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. She turn from him, that he may rest, till he shall accomplish as in howling his day. That's right, man. But there is hope of a tree if it be cut down. You cut down a tree, that it will sprout again. Cut that tree down. There's hope in the tree that it'll sprout up again, and that the tender branch thereof will not cease. That come from the tree. You can cut it down and sprout again and grow as tender branches and leaves, and say, for there is hope of a tree, if it be cut down, that it will sprout again, and that the tender branch thereof will not cease. Though the root thereof wax old in the earth, the root of the tree wax old in the earth, and the stalk thereof die in the ground, yet through the scent of water, not just water, just through the scent of water, it will bud. It say through the scent of water, it's going to bud and bring forth boughs like a plant, right? But man dieth, talking about a tree right there, but man dieth, it wasted away. Yeah, man giveth up the spirit, and where is he? As the waters fell from the sea, and the flood decayeth, it dryeth up. Once you have a flood, next thing you know is you've seen all that water going back. Next thing you know, it's all dry land again. So man lieth down and rises not. See, a man lieth down and rises not, till the heavens be no more. They shall not awake. nor be raised out of their sleep. Oh, that thou would have hide me in the grave. Job is crying out, man. That thou would have keep me secret until thy wrath be past. And we talking about to keep me in the ground, man. Keep me secret until the wrath that's going to come on this earth pass by. We inquiring of our answers, and here he is telling us that thou would have appoint me a set time and remember me. A set time, remember me. Pull me back up out the grave, man. A set time, you remember me. For real, for real. Look at verse 14. If a man die, shall he live again? All the days of my appointed time will I wait till my change comes. It's going to be a change, you know. Now, it talks about that change. It says, thou shalt call, and I will answer thee. Thou will have a desire to the work of thine hands. It's going to be that change. Look at 1 Corinthians 15. Start at verse 50. See, now this I say, 1 Corinthians 15 and 57. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of the Most High. Flesh and blood can't go before the Most High. Neither does corruption inherit incorruption. So if you wicked, you ain't inheriting incorruption. Living forever. Behold, I show you a mystery, just a secret. We shall not all sleep. Like Joe was asking for his change. We shall not all sleep. Everybody not going to die. But we shall all be changed, you see. We all going to be changed. After Mashiach Yahushua teach us for 1,000 years of the Most High. That's why I say I'm giving you the future and the present. Those that can hear, in a moment, this change is coming. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible. That's what Job is crying about. Asking the Most High to raise him up, leave him alone for the time that we know is coming on this earth. The war and the destruction and all the things that we reading about and have read about. It says, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. You see that? That's what Job is asking the Most High for, that change. For this corruptible body must put on incorruption, an immortal body. And this mortal shall put on immortal, meaning the body that's going to last forever and ever and ever and ever. So when this corruptible, this fleshly body that we in, shall have put on incorruption, meaning an eternal body that can last forever and ever and ever. And this mortal shall have put on immortality, meaning this body going to be able to live forever and ever and ever. Then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory, you see. And that's why you look at, let me see, 2 Corinthians 5 and 1, it says, for we know that if our earthly house, which is our earthly body of this tabernacle, were dissolved, we have a building of the Most High, a house made, not made with hands, eternal in the heavens. That's what we just read about. This body that's eternal in the heavens. For in this we groan earnestly, desiring to be clothed upon with our house or our body, which is from heaven. If so be that being clothed, we shall not be found naked or exposed to any sins or wickedness. For we that are in this tabernacle, this body, do groan, being burdened, all the things that we have to go through and live in this body, pain and suffering, sadness, all kind of madness. Not for that we would be unclothed or be exposed to anything that we are doing wrong, but clothed upon with this immortal body, that mortality might be swallowed up of life, that these mortal bodies may be swallowed up with this immortal body that we are promised when we have that change, if we worthy. That's what it's all about. Psalms 50 and 16. Psalms 50 and 16. But unto the wicked, the Most High said, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldst take my covenant in thy mouth? He said, yeah, he talks to the wicked. He say, because the wicked have our Bible. The wicked are the one that's making the money off the Bibles. They publish the Bibles. They took scriptures out and put scriptures in. He said, but unto the wicked, the Most High said, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldst take my covenant in thy mouth? Come on. Only way they could take the covenant in their mouth if they pronounce who the covenant is for. That's the only way. And that's Psalms 105, 8 through 10. He have remembered his covenant, Psalms 105, 8 through 10. That's why I say, what do you mean to announce my covenant in your mouth? It's like he have remembered his covenant. That's a contract agreement forever. The word which he had commanded to 1,000 generations, which covenant, a contract agreement, look who he made it with. He made with Abraham, and his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel, the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel, for an everlasting covenant. So if he confirmed the covenant to the Israelites for an everlasting covenant, so for the wicked, why the Most High said, what do you mean? Declaring my statutes, or that thou should have taken my covenant in thy mouth. If the wicked is not acknowledging the fact that we are the children of Israel, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar, then how are they going to declare the Most High statutes and covenant out of their mouth? If they're not dealing with those 12 tribes of Israel, Most High said he's the power of Israel. He just said he gave the covenant to Abraham, to Isaac, to Jacob, and to the Israelites. Period. That's it. You say, going back to Psalms 50 and 17, seeing thou hateth instruction. They hate instruction and casteth my words behind thee. Because we're the ones that is teaching this truth. Straight up. We're the ones been ordained to bring forth what it takes to bring forth the word of the Most High in these last days. We the Israelites, not no one else. Who's declaring the covenant is with Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. Of these religions. Which one I'm telling you got to keep the commandments of the Most High. Who? Who's saying you got to keep the commandments of the Most High? Got to keep the laws of the Most High. You got to follow what it is that these scriptures are saying that they're supposed to be doing. These Gentile nations that call themselves that's why I say, what do you mean, declaring my statutes and my covenant in your mouth? Because they're not declaring. He ain't say the law. They ain't declaring the laws and the commandments. Definitely not. Or tell me what religion is keeping the moral law, civil law, dietary law, ceremonial laws, and learn of the sacrificial laws. What religion? Now you see what the Master did to rebuke the devil. So they're not showing you how to rebuke the devil. You don't know nothing about how to rebuke the devil. Only thing y'all know is fasting and prayer. So you laugh at you. You fasting and prayer, and you already said, I ain't got to follow you, Most High. So who you following? You following the devil automatically. So your fasting and prayer ain't doing nothing. You ain't going to what the Master showed us you got to do. That's what he did. He fasted for 40 days, 40 nights. You think he just doing it one time? He was dealing with back and forth, man. 40 days and 40 nights. The devil was dealing with him. He's going through the law every single time on him. He had to leave him alone. He had to leave him alone. Understand this. This is what it's all about. You have to see and understand what works. That's what works. That's what he did. So now here it is, Proverbs 1 and 7. Remember, they hated instruction. The wicked hate instruction. You can't tell them nothing. That's why when you see people that they don't want to be told nothing, they wicked. And you wicked. You can't be told nothing, can't be corrected. Man, come on. That'll do a self-examine of yourself for real before the Most High visits you, because he don't seen him visit people. Look at, here go the wicked. The fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. You're a fool. You know, you're a fool. If you can't be instructed, how do you think any of us learn? Now we start asking you about questions about this. This will get you in the kingdom. Know this, know that, know that, know this. You don't know nothing that you ought to know. When you go through the mysteries that's hidden in this Bible, and you really ain't thought enough to be able to want to know, and he come back and say, "What is this talking about? I'm not coming back for no novice. I ain't coming back for no beginners, which y'all didn't care about learning about me. So I'll come in the volume of the book. Show me where I'm at. Show me where I'm at in Proverbs. Show me where I'm at in, and I mean, we're gonna have to judge me to Mashiach Yahushua. So he coming back, he telling us, show me me. That's why I say, look, y'all better understand. I think y'all don't really have faith to believe what this Bible is talking about. I think some of y'all don't believe. Say whatever. He said in Matthew 7:21, he's gonna be the judge. See, not everyone that says unto me, Mashiach shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. But he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. And he said, I just like son like the Father, man. You gotta learn of him, man. He said, I come in the volume of the book, learn of me. You know. He said, hey, many will say to me in that day, Mashiach, have we not prophesied in thy name? Y'all rolling by some Mashiach, or in the name of Jesus, whatever your name you use. Have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works? Listen, and then what I profess to them, I never knew you. That's deep. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Because you didn't care enough. You didn't care enough to want to know more. Only reason why you have anybody that's teaching is because we had to do a lot of studying. A lot of questions were answered, and because we wanted to know. Inquiring minds wanted to know. Straight up. That's right. So I was telling you. And then when I professed to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Because how you work in righteousness and your spirit ain't right. You don't know how to roll as an Israelite. You still the same kind of person. And you always, especially when people bring up, and I've heard it all throughout my venture in this truth, well, I've always been like this, that's how I am. Okay, well, you ain't changed. You the same person. Well, you gonna die the same person. All this you doing, you wasting your time. You must go out there and live it up. Because you got to change. This is about, like you say, when you say be born again, oh, you got to you got to correct those little uh, spirits that you rolling with. Let them, stop dealing with you in mind control. You gotta have that peace that Mashiach Shai said he's gonna give us. A lot of people don't have that. They all uptight. They're looking for something to be able to find, to be able to lash out at. When he gave you that peace, man, you got to go back to that peace. You don't have that peace while you all uptight. While you can't be corrected. You can't be instructed. That's Esau. That's Esau's spirit. You in the devil's spirit. Real. That's how he ruling the world. And he got people that's deceitful and evil person. And deceitful and evil people in all nations. No matter who it is. Straight up. That's in your spirit. That's why you have to be born again. You got to change. You got to become a new creature, a new man, a new woman. Proverbs 1 and 7, the fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge. You be afraid, be scared of the Most High, that's fear. When you're afraid and scared of something, you respect it. But fools despise wisdom and instruction. Ecclesiasticus 15. Ecclesiasticus 15 and 1. He that feareth the Most High, he that's scared and afraid of the Most High when he told you, And Hebrews 10:31, it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. You think that don't mean to be afraid and scared? Angels tremble before him, man. He that feared the Most High will do good. He that feared the Most High will do good. We know it's good, right? He that feared the Most High will do good. What's good? How do you do good? Romans 7:12. Romans 7:12. That's why I say it's very important to know these definitions according to the Bible. Romans 7:12. Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just and good. So the law, the commandment is good. You that fear the Most High will do good. You're going to keep the commandments of the Most High and the laws of the Most High. He that hath the knowledge of the law shall obtain her, you see. And as a mother shall she meet him and receive him as a wife married of a virgin. With the bread of understanding shall she feed him and give him the water of wisdom to drink. Come on. It starts with what? The fear of the Most High. That's what it's all about. Job 13:6. Job 13:6. Job 13:6. Hear now my reasoning, and hearken to the pleadings of my lips. Would you speak wickedly for the Most High? Would you speak wickedly for the Most High and talk deceitfully for him? People have done that. That's what they're doing. Come on, they put their picture in the Bible as the Most High. Come on. Look, will ye speak wickedly for the Most High and talk deceitfully for him? Look, right there. Holy Bible. This is an ancient Bible, so I have to really, I want to see it's falling apart. I taped it up best I could. But what does it say? It's a picture of an old Edomite up in the air. It says, in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. Come on. So now when you read the Bible, you think that's who it is. You can't denounce that, man. So that's what people that read the Bible, it got the Apocrypha in it too. And you see what they do. Look. Here he is up in the sky, lying, putting his hand down on Cain. What did he do to Cain? Turned him black, and Abel on the ground, white. What is opposite? Most I put that mark of leprosy on Cain, turned him white. Because everybody was melanated in the beginning. Remember, I mean, don't take a rocket science to figure this out, but I mean, maybe some of you never heard it. Genesis, let's look at Genesis 2nd chapter. Let's see if we can find how he made man. Genesis, the 2nd chapter, verse 7. And the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. So Adam was made from the dirt. From the dirt. You see? Man was made from the dust of the ground. You see? And everybody comes from us. You look at, you have something, and you can take away from whatever you have, and someone else can get not as much as you have, but less than, and they can be all right. But you can't get what we have and melanin and pigment and so forth that Y chromosome from someone that don't have it, right? Like two Edomites cannot lay down and have a baby and bring forth the nations like we did, like we can. You understand? Or do you understand? Because like y'all call yourself African American. Think about that. Y'all say y'all come from Leocyphus avocados and Americo Vespucci. Two so-called white men laid down and had you. That's how I try and, get our people to really come out of this gross darkness that they had the people in. Because we don't know and we don't care. We just regurgitate what someone says. It's no different than all praises. And y'all just follow it. Just like I made up who got next, we got next, what we gonna do, take the kingdom, when, now, how, by someone like outside. Everybody know those things. That I created through the power of the Most High, by someone like outside. This is how we are. A bunch of we just followers. That's all. We sheep. The sheep follow the shepherd. You see what I'm saying? So we sheep. And we follow whatever it is that's in. Whatever's in, we locked into it. Not even considering whether or not it's really right or wrong. Better. That's what you better be looking at right now. You care about your salvation. So Job 30:30 say, my skin is black upon me. I mean, that's what he said. Jeremiah 14:2. Judah mourneth in the gates of their language. They are black unto the ground. It was a famine. Oh, it was a famine. For they turn darker. When we get hungry and starving, we get darker. We don't get lighter, we get darker. If you Israel, you're going to get darker. Even when you're getting ready to die, you start going back to the dirt. If they don't put you in the ground, oh yeah, you look this color now, but if they don't put you in the ground and take care, preserve your body right, you have they preserve you out of the ground for a long time. By the time you have that funeral, they dark. It'll be dark, man. You're going to start going back to the dirt. Is that why they bury themselves real quick when they die? To a couple of days, they in the ground. They have overcast, you can see them like they are, but if not, by the time, a week, 2 weeks, month go by, so they start to turn dark. Better believe that. That's real. I mean, that flipped me out the first time I seen that. I had experienced that with my best friend, man. It was like, wow. Something to behold. Job 13, verse 7. Will you speak wickedly for the Most High and talk deceitfully for him? Come on, y'all look at it. When you really look at this, man, like, you call yourself speaking for the Most High? 1 Corinthians 2. 1 Corinthians, the 2nd chapter. Verse 16. But who have known the mind of the Most High? But they speaking for the Most High. Like the Most High dealing with them. He's not dealing with them. He said, for who have known the mind of the Most High, that he may instruct him? But we have the mind of a Mashiach. We the Israelites have the mind of a Mashiach. But who have known the mind of the Most High, that he may instruct him? I guess they think they can. I mean, and it is sad because when you look at, let me find this. It's cold, man. How you look at how they have set themselves up to be in a position to teach us, the children of Israel, and still trying to teach us. And we bring forth all this truth. What the Bible is really talking about, they should be trying to figure out a way that they could be in this righteous kingdom instead of being destroyed. When the Mashiach come to judge and make war. Look at 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 3. It says, let no man deceive you. Remember, they deceived everybody through the multitude of sorceries, multitude of witchcrafts that they have on the people, the spells that they have on the people. Say, let no man deceive you by any means. For that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. You see? And that's Esau. That's the one that's a superpower of earth. He's been revealed, the son of perdition. All the havoc that he's causing on this earth. Who opposes and exalted himself above all that is called the Most High. Where you at trying to hide? I mean, that picture used to all the time, uh, above all that is called the Most High, and the Mashiach Yahushua, right? Who opposes and exalted himself above all that is called the Most High or Mashiach Yahushua, or that is worship, so that he, as the Mashiach Yahushua, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High, that he is the Mashiach Yahushua. You can't deny this now. You can't deny it. Okay. Just they didn't like what I was saying, shut me down, but I'm back. All praises to the Most High by Shama Shak. Um, I was saying, we was in Second Thessalonians 2:4. It says, who opposes and exalted himself above all that is called the Most High or Mashiach Yahushai, or that is worship, so that he as the Most High, he as the Mashiach Yahushai, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is a Mashiach Yahushai, that he is the Most High, right? So, where's the temple of the Most High at? 1 Corinthians 3:16. Hopefully I could be heard still, right? 1 Corinthians 3:16, because he's sitting in the temple of the Most High, and let's see what the temple of the Most High is. Showing himself that he is the Most High, that he is the Mashiach Yahushai. Now I showed you that picture in the Bible of them saying that they are the Most High. Look, can't deny this. Sit in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High, right? What's the temple of the Most High? Let's find out. 1 Corinthians 3:16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High, and that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you? Who's he talking to? The children of Israel. We are the temple of the Most High. So he's showing himself that he is the temple of the Most High. Who's they talking to? 1 Corinthians 1:1. Paul, called to be an apostle of Mashiach Yahushua through the will of the Most High, and Sosthenes, our brother, unto the church of the Most High, which is at Corinth. To them that are sanctified by Shama Mashiach Yahushua, in the name of the Lord and Savior, called to be saints. Same thing that we went over for Ephesians. With all that in every place call upon the name of a Mashiach Yahushua, our power, ours a personal possessive pronoun. Mashiach Yahushua tells us, I read it said in Hebrews 7:14, for this evidence of fact that our power of Mashiach Yahushua sprang out of Judah, both theirs and ours, you see? So he's saying both theirs, and he's including himself with the Corinthians, the Ephesians, and so forth, because he wasn't raised around a Mashiach Yahushua. He was against a Mashiach Yahushua as Saul. That's why you can say for theirs and ours. He was a great man to do it, the right man to do it, that the Most High chose, because he was just like the outsiders, the foreigners, the what we call the uncircumcised, the strangers. Nobody knew him. They knew him as Saul. He was putting people to death for it, rolling by Shama Mashiach Yahushua, you see? So it said what? He said both theirs and ours. Both theirs, those that were in Jerusalem, like Peter and all the apostles that raised up with the Mashiach Yahushua. He said, and ours. He included himself with the Corinthians because he was a Roman. You know what I mean? He wasn't in Jerusalem. He said, grace be unto you and peace. Grace, we read, grace and mercy is with his saints in Wisdom of Solomon 4:15. Right? So that's why I say it's very important to understand these definitions from the Bible so that you can actually go into this Bible and look, say, from the Most High our Father. Most High our Father. Who used our Father up? We got to go for Acts 3:13. Acts 3:13. Most High our Father. Look, the power of Abraham and of Isaac and of Jacob. The power of our fathers. The power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Jacob's name was changed to Israel. He became the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. The power of our fathers. He the power of Israel, the Israelites. And if you're not an Israelite, the Most High is not your power. Period. He ain't talking to you until he's talking to you concerning whatever your nation is in this Bible. Point blank. So that's who he's talking to. Not everybody, but to the Israelites. So they sitting in the temple of the Most High, showing themselves that they are the Most High. They sit in the temple of the Most High, which we are the temple of the Most High, showing themselves that they are Mashiach Yahushua. I can't deny it because this is all over the world. I mean, they was trying to hide from me before it cut off. But here he is. I got him back. showing themselves that they are Hamashiach Yahushua, which is a lie. Let me make sure that y'all understand why I'm saying that, because some of you might think, you might have an attitude because you think that's your Jesus. Well, just why he look. Revelation 1 and 1. The revelation, the revealing of a Mashiach Yahushua. We'll jump down to verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool. Do this man have white hair and is woolly? No, it's straight. It's straight. Straight hair. Straight hair. It's not woolly. His hair was white like wool. And they'll try to say, that's not many nappy hair. Come on, man. That's white as snow. And his eyes was a flame of fire. And his feet like a fine brass. His feet is the same color as your whole body. And brass derivative of brown, as if they burn in a furnace. Come on. You burn anything, it's going to turn what color? Black. Dark as dark can be. Burn in the furnace. And his voice has the sound of many waters. You see? So they lied, Another, let's see. Let's get another description of it. If I can, if you don't mind. See, Matthew 16 and 13. How about this one? When the Mashiach of Shai came into the coast of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, saying, whom do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? Right? So he asked them a question. Who do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? Right? And they said, listen what they said. Some say, thou art John the Baptist, right? Now we just seen that Mashiach Yahushua said his feet like a fine brass if they burn in the furnace. John the Baptist, very dark-skinned man. John the Baptist, some Elijah, right? And others Jeremiah, or one of the prophets. So let's look how Jeremiah looked. See, we're gonna see how does Jeremiah describe himself? Jeremiah 8 and 21. Jeremiah 8:21. For the hurt of the daughter of my people am I hurt. I am black. Astonishment have taken hold of me. Why ain't say he's white? You say, I am black. You say, astonishment have taken hold. He's black. I mean, Hebrews 7:14 says, for this evidence of fact that our power of Mashiach Yahushua sprang out of Judah. That's our forefather Jacob's fourth born son. Judah. Like we Judah. Many here in America. So-called Negroes and so forth. Not all of us, though. I mean, we could be any tribe for that matter. But look what it says in Jeremiah 14 and 2. Judah mourned, and the gates their language. What color are they? They are black unto the ground. Remember we went to Genesis 2 and 7? Most High created man from the dust of the ground. We all have different shades of brown from the earth. The earth is different shades of brown. They are black unto the ground. You see? That's the color of the Jews. So how do you, get this cat right here? This picture was drawn by Warner Salmon in the 1930s, y'all. This is not Caesar Borgia. So there's a difference between him and him. This Caesar Borgia right here. The Borgia is right here. And this is Warner Salmon's rendition. Made millions of it. Y'all got it up in your churches and your houses and everything. This from the 1930s, y'all. This from way back in 1492. So you've been hoodwinked, you've been bamboozled, you've been ran amok, like Malcolm said, man. Y'all been shanghaied into believing lies. And have a problem with us bringing it out. Y'all love y'all white Jesus. Just pushing up daisies ain't gonna do nothing for you. Nothing at all. But y'all think that that's what you believe in. Most High say this in 2 Corinthians 6 and 14. Take heed to say, be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. Y'all hanging out with people that's unbelievers, man. Be not unequally yoked. You ain't gonna be equally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness? What fellowship do you have with those that are unrighteous, those that are not keeping the commandments of the Most High, with you keeping the commandments of the Most High? Hmm? And what communion have light with darkness? That's what we've been talking about all the time. That light is the commandments of the Most High, Proverbs 6:23, all day long. And that darkness is ignorance that the Most High put Esau in, told him to shut up and get thee in the darkness. That's ignorance, not knowing. And when he went into ignorance, he put the people in gross ignorance, gross darkness. In Isaiah 45 and 47 and 5 and Isaiah 60 and 2. That's what we're dealing with. It's a what is the method of getting you out of this gross darkness, gross ignorance that he had put the people in? It's real, y'all. It's real as real can be. Come on. This your God, when you say God is who you're talking about right here, this is in the Bible. It says, in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. That's your God right there. Now, when you say God, that's who you're talking about right there. That's what they got in the Bible. Say you don't have no color, you know, this, not the third. They got him in there. For sure. You see how, look, you see how right here, I'd like to show this is, he's 12 years old dealing with the doctors. That's not on my Sabbath. He had blonde hair and blue eyes right there, 12 years old. Supposed to be to left him at the Passover. And that's when he's 12 years old. Now he got blonde hair, blue eyes right there. Now y'all gotta tell me now. Here he is with brown hair and brown eyes. He had contact lenses back there. Talk to me now. Here he is now. He was blind. Here he is now. You're brunette with brown eyes, not no blue eyes. All throughout the Bible. See how they put themselves in the Bible. You can't deny this, man. Picture worth 1,000 words, right? See, we got to come out of these lies, man. Y'all want to make it. That's why they have set themselves up to be the Most High. They sit them, like it says. 1 Corinthians 3:16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High, and that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you? Which temple of the Most High? And the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in the children of Israel. That's why I took you to the first parts of the books in the New Testament to show you that it's talking to the saints and those who grace is for. Grace and mercy is to the saints. Point blank. You see, it's real, man. I mean, this is what we're dealing with. In this, go back to Job 13. Verse 7. Will ye speak wickedly for the Most High and talk deceitfully for him? That's what they've done. I just showed you pictures, you know, but when you look at what they've done and taking scriptures out of the Bible and putting in LORD, which go back to BAAL, definition of BAAL, gotta keep putting it in your face so it penetrate to your mind. See right there, BAAL means LORD, MASTER. You see, that's what we're dealing with. When you look, when you speak wickedly for the Most High and talk deceitfully for Him, remember they deceive the whole world by their sorceries, by the multitude of witchcrafts. It says, will ye accept His person? Will ye contend for the Most High? Will you accept His person by the Most High? Say, yeah, what? First and foremost, you see how much I was shy look. And they asked John, Philip asked the Mashiach Yahushua in John 14 and 8. Said, Philip said unto him, John 14 and 8, O Mashiach Yahushua, show us the Father. And it suffices, it'll satisfy us. And Mashiach said to him, have I been so long time with you? And hast thou not known me, Philip? He that hath seen me hath seen the Father. And how sayest thou then, show us the Father? Like father, like son. You know, Mashiach says, his feet like a refined brass if it burn in the furnace. Tell you the most about the Most High. Say, if this to Thahwam, because the Most High is a spirit. He's not flesh at all. He's a spirit. But if he showed himself as a man, that's what he said in Daniel 7 and 9. This is to what they call Thahwam, when he would show himself as a physical man, to a vision. It says, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. Not like this. Pure wool. And we just deal with the truth, because so many things I deal with that we have to eat as a children of Israel, so y'all got to eat it too. The lies that your people have taught. Y'all taught all these lies. Now we breaking down these lies, so you got to eat it. Now people don't believe the lies. They come against us for supporting you, and you even support yourself. They even support themselves. They say, "Yep, that's wrong. Yep, that's a lie." In these days and times, they saying it, and our people still believe it. That's why we destroy it, man. It says, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, Daniel 7 and 9. This is the Most High. In the Ancient of Days, and nobody older than the Most High did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame. He's all fire. And his wheels as burning fire. So, but seeing him as a man in the vision, what you can see here in verse 1, because like I said, that's through Thahwam, where he's showing himself, as a man, but he's really a spirit. He's invisible power. Like you see here in Daniel 7 and 1, in the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream, see? And visions of his head upon his bed. You see, when he woke the dream and told his son of the matters, you see? So it's a dream, a vision that he's having, that the Most High is giving him as he sleeps. Okay, that's how this works. Going back to Job 13 and 9. Is it good that he should search you out? Or as one man mocketh another, do ye so mock him? Yes. By saying you are the Most High, ain't nobody apologizes for saying that they're the Most High. Mashiach Yahushua, he will surely reprove you if you do secretly accept persons. Most High has no respect to persons. See, shall not his excellency make you afraid, and his dread fall upon you? Say, his excellency not gonna make you afraid. That's why he's talking about the fear of the Most High. You think that don't mean being afraid of him? His excellency, he can show up as a hurricane, a tornado, fire, or send his mighty angels in front of you that's invisible right around you now, and they just appear and you see them, or have things happen around you to know that it is the Most High. What they be calling and screaming? Oh my God, they know. So this excellency make you afraid, and his dread fall upon you. Your remembrances are like unto ashes. You hear that? Their remembrances are likened to ashes. Your bodies to bodies of clay, man. To the Most High. That's why you look at it. Revelation 12 and 9. Revelation 12 and 9. This is real serious. And what has been done, and no apology whatsoever. That's why the judgment's going to come. Revelation 12 and 9. And the great dragon, which is red, in verse 3 says a red dragon. And we know Esau is red from Genesis 25:25. The first came out red all over like a hairy garment. They called his name Esau. Red, red, red. And the great dragon was red, was cast out. That old serpent was red, called the devil that's red, and Satan that's red, which deceiveth the whole world. You hear that? Which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. You understand this? Now, that's why you got to understand. A lot of y'all think of these angels flying with wings and all that stuff. No, that's why he told us in Hebrews 13 and 2, he said, be not forgetful to entertain strangers. These are people. For thereby some have entertained angels unawares. You understand that? So they look like people. They are people. And it tells you how. That's why it's very important that we know these scriptures and look at these precepts for what it is that spiritually that we can find out to be able to help us to understand these last days. Look, this up, 2nd Ezra 1, and we're going to start at verse 35. He said, your houses will I give to a people that shall come. New bodies and new spirits, which not having heard of me, yet shall believe me. To whom I have showed no signs, yet they shall do that I commanded them. Meaning keeping his commandments, his laws, statutes, and commandments. Say, they have seen no prophets, the prophets are dead. We're just reading about the last one that's on the island of Patmos in Revelation. They have seen no prophets, that they shall call their sins to remembrance. So what he's saying, repent. And keep the commandments of the Most High, keep the laws of the Most High, fear the Most High, cry unto the Most High, and acknowledge them, acknowledge our sins. Say, I take to witness the grace of the people to come, whose little ones rejoice in gladness. And though they have not seen me with bodily eyes, yet in spirit, they believe the things that I say. It's spiritual. And now, brother, behold, what glory, check this out, and see the people, not no spirits, and see the people, not no angel, and see the people that cometh from the east, unto whom I will give leaders. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Hosea, Amos, and Micah, Joel, Obadiah, and Jonas, Nahum, and Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, and Malachi, which is called also an angel of the Most High. You see? So that's why I say when you see angel spirits, this could be men, it could be women, it could be men, it could be, the actual angel. But here it is. I mean, they on this earth, the devil and his angels cast out on this earth. Look, don't get it twisted now. 1 Peter 5 and 8. 1 Peter 5 and 8. All praises to the Most High. About Shalom. I say, be sober, better be focused. Don't be no drunkard. Be vigilant, because your adversary, your enemy, the devil, as a roaring lion, where is that? Walking about, seeking whom he may devour. You see? The devil is walking about, seeking whom he may devour. Where? Right on the earth. Who resists steadfast. Devil means deceitful and evil person. Devils mean deceitful and evil people. It says, whom resist steadfast in the faith, in the Most High. And his laws and commandments, that's how you rebuke him with the law of the Most High, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world. Understand this. So the devil is doing what? The Most High asked him, where you been, man? Where you coming from? Let's see where he came from. Go to Job, the 1st chapter. till the first chapter. We start at verse 6. Now there was a day when the sons of the Most High, those that believe on Yahweh about so much Shai, came to present themselves before the Most High, and Satan came also among them. Satan ain't different than the devil, no different than the old serpent, and no different than the dragon, the beast, Esau, they all red. God, that's what they are. I mean, he came among them. And the Most High said unto Satan, whence cometh thou? Where you coming from? Look what he said. Then Satan answered the Most High and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it, in the earth, from going to and fro, that's that cross, to and fro, and up and down in it. Ain't that sign that they make on their chest, to and fro, up and down, represents Satan, man. They don't know it. They're just doing what it is that they will do to follow suit of the Catholic religion or whatever religion they call themselves being in, following whatever it is somebody else done. Robots and robotees, man. Where are you coming from? From going to and fro in the earth and from walking up and down in it. That's that cross, y'all. That pagan symbol that y'all make for Satan. Nowhere in the world, man, you can show me that that's righteous. That's why they deceive the whole world through their witchcrafts, mind control. You know, they got things that they say they gave people, man, and tell them what they doing behind closed doors. This ain't something that just popped up, this little virus that they had out there, man. They know that thing was coming. You think they just made that vaccine in a week or two? Come on, man. Y'all gotta think, man. You gotta start using your brains, think a little harder. Job 15. I'm just about finished on it. Job 15. We can continue this on the Shabbat. Job 15 and 31. It says, let not him that is deceived trust in vanity. Hear that? Remember, they deceived the whole world with their sorcery. And I showed you there was a multitude of sorcery, multitude of witchcraft. So it says, hey, let not him that is deceived trust in vanity. For vanity shall be his recompense or his reward. What you gonna get when he come for you? And y'all deceived, y'all been lied to, and y'all trust in y'all vanity. That's why Ecclesiastes 3:24. You know it's coming from the devil. We know that. Deceitful evil person and people that are plotted together to do their little wickedness and evil. Ecclesiastes 3:24 says, for many are deceived by their own vain opinion, worthless opinion. And their worthless opinion, have you having a worthless opinion? Because it says, for many are deceived by their own vain opinion. Vain means worthless, to have no merit in the way you think. Vain thoughts, right? And an evil suspicion, that's the devil, that's the Satan, that's the serpent, the old serpent, that's the dragon, that's the beast, that's Esau, that's the ruler of this world. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob's beginning with their followers. They all fit into this pattern of brain polluting your mind, deceiving you. Remember, they deceive all the world through their multitude of sorceries, witchcrafts. And it's coming in many facets. That's why we have to be tapped into the Most High. While Mashiach Yahushai, Basham Mashiach Yahushai, or it can get you at their will. He gets you at his will. We said where he's going, to up and down, to and the fro. Well, we got to be conscious of the wiles of the devil. Say, for many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion has overthrown their judgment. That's the devil coming in. His job is to make you make the wrong judgment, do the wrong thing. It's his job. Um, Job 15:31. Let not him that is deceived trust in vanity, trust in the things that are no merit. For vanity shall be his reward. Gonna be his recompense, which means your reward. And what they gonna say? What they gonna be saying? You lost Israelites that's in the gross darkness and the Gentiles. Both of y'all gonna be saying this. Jeremiah 16:19. And say, oh, Most High, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction, the Gentiles, who you really are, shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth and shall say, what? Surely our fathers have inherited lies. Here it is, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. That's what you're going to be saying. 2 Thessalonians 2:11 and 12. What they're going to be saying. Like I say, the past, the present, all that's right here, man. And the future. That's the future right there. That's what they're going to say. When judgment comes, they're going to say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity. Listen, 2 Thessalonians 2:11, it says, and for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusions, that they should believe a lie. Hear that? That's why it says, Jeremiah 16:19 will say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things where there's no profit, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth. Now we know what the truth is, class, right? We ain't sung it all night. Psalms 119:142. That righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. You see? That they all might be damned who believe not the truth, who don't believe that you under the laws. You pork chop eating preachers that teach the people that you're not under the laws, they're not under the laws and commandments. You're going to be damned that believe not the truth. And the truth is defined in Psalms 119:147. But that had pleasure in unrighteousness, right? So what is righteousness? To know what unrighteousness is, you have to know what righteousness is. Psalms 119:172 defines righteousness. Psalm 119:172. My tongue shall speak of thy word, for all thy commandments are righteousness. So to be unrighteous, you're saying that you don't have to keep the commandments. You're not keeping the commandments, so you unrighteous if you don't keep the commandments. You keep the commandments, then you are righteous. Man, somebody must have been a Christian insanity. Bing, they left. Bing, oh, yeah, I'm out of here. But that's real. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. We gotta go with the truth. Whether you hear or forbear. I'm not here for popularity. I'm here to grab those that's going to be able to hear the truth and follow the truth, the laws of the Most High, the commandments, have faith in the Mashiach Yahushua, and come back to the Most High. And we get ready for the kingdom, y'all. We practice our way and what we got to do, and look at these scriptures to find out what's right or wrong. That's it. I read the scripture for solutions, and I'm giving them to you best I can through the Spirit of the Most High. Look, going back to Job 15 and 32. It shall be accomplished before his time, and his branch shall not be green. You know? It's going to be accomplished before his time, and his branch shall not be green. He shall shake off his unripe grape as the vine, and shall cast off his flower as the olive. For the congregation of hypocrites shall be desolate. And the hypocrites are the ones that's, saying something they're not doing something else. That's why you always find out, wow, they was like this. You think you follow somebody, you think they this way, you don't know them because they online. If you don't know me, you know of me, you don't know nobody. And y'all follow them, get caught up in man. Ain't no man go save you. You better follow what this word is. Take notes and study for yourself to be approved unto the Most High, right dividing the word of truth, man. But the congregation of hypocrites shall be desolate, and fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery. They conceive mischief and bring forth vanity, things that's worthless. Things I say, all you got to do is believe in the name of Jesus. That ain't his name. And you're going to be saved. They bring forth vanity, and their belly prepareth deceit, man, over and over again. This way, that way, whatever way you can think of it. Job 18 and 11. They lied about the Most High. They lied about Mashiach Yahushua. That's why it says, terror shall make him afraid on every side. That's judgment. And shall drive him to his feet. That's what it's telling him. Psalm 73, 18. Psalm 73 and 18. And to all of y'all for hanging in there with me, because I know I had a technical difficulty. I started bringing something out. They certain things out. They just shut me down. But we back. All praises to the Most High. Psalm 73, 18. Surely thou didst set them in slippery places. Your slippery place, you're going to slide or slip. Thou castest them down into destruction. They're going into destruction. That's the judgment. How are they brought into desolation? As in a moment. Hollering and screaming at them. How they brought into desolation. Everything is destroyed as in a moment. They are utterly consumed with terrors. You hear that? They are utterly consumed with terrors. What's he going to do when he comes for you? Job 18, 14. Job 18, 14. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors. You hear that? The Most High is the king of terrors. It shall dwell in his tabernacle, because it is none of his. Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation, wherever they live in, man. That fire going to be brought down. His roots shall be dried up beneath. If ain't no roots, his roots dried up, you know, the body going to fall. And above shall his branch be cut off. Going to be cut off. His remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the street. Straight up. This is it. Don't have no name in the street. He shall be driven from light into darkness. Like he said, shut up and get there in the dark. He shall be driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world. You know, and chased out of the world. What you gonna do with that? Gonna be chased out of the world. He said he shall neither have son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. This, you know, sons, meaning that lineage is not gonna exist, gonna stop existing eventually. They that come after him shall be astonished at his day, as they that went before were frightened in the day that he was ruling. They that come after him shall be astonished at his day, going to be astonished at how this world that we in now will be brought to desolation and built in a new kingdom, a new earth, a new heavens, new earth. As they that went before were frightened, you know? They that was in this world now is a frightened from all the wickedness that's going on in the world. Surely such are the dwellings of the wicked. You hear that? Surely are the dwellings of the wicked. And this is the place of him that knoweth not the Most High. This is the place of him that knoweth not of Mashiach Yahushua. That's why I tell you in Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 7, when salvation is coming on this earth, why it behooves you, whoever you are, to be able to start learning what it is that we're teaching. Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 7. We reared ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. This is what they're going to be saying. Yeah, we've gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of the Most High and Mashiach Yahushua, who we're teaching as Israelites, we have not known it. No different than what you're seeing here. Surely in Job 18:21, surely such are the dwellings of the wicked. And this is the place of him that knoweth not the Most High. Let you know there's going to be a desolation, man. Straight on. Job 20:4. Knowest thou not this of old? Job 20:4. Since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Though it's excellently mount up to the heavens, he got a space station and jets and so forth, going up in the heavens, and his head reach above the clouds, unto the clouds. Yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? Where he go? Where is he? He shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yeah, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more. Neither shall his place that he liveth in, the fattest of the earth, any more behold him. His children shall seek to please the poor. We the poor, as Israelites in his hand, shall restore their goods. Tell you that in Obadiah 17. See? His bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. That's flat line, unalive. Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue, though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth, yet his meat in his bowels is turned. It is the gall of apes, poisonous snakes within him. He has swallowed down riches. Come on, who more riches than them? And he shall vomit them up again. Swallow down riches, but he's going to vomit it up, the Most High said. The Most High shall cast them out of his belly. That's what the Most High said he's going to do. He shall suck the poison of apes. The viper's tongue shall slay him. He's going to suck the poison of these poisonous snakes, but that poisonous snake tongue shall slay him, go kill him. He shall not see the rivers and the floods, the brooks, or honey and butter. That which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance, once the Most High make him vomit up his riches, he said, that which he labored for shall he not restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall be the restitution, shall the restitution be. And he shall not rejoice therein. He's going to be happy to do it, but he's going to make sure that that restitution happens. Thus say the Most High, because he have oppressed and have forsaken the poor. You hear that? Because he have oppressed and have forsaken the poor. Because he have violently taken, come on, violently took away a house which you builders now. That's why the Most High, he got words to say. Words to say. It's not going out void. He's not a man, he should lie. That's why he said, Isaiah 33:1. Woe means destruction to thee, to you, that spoileth, that robbeth. And thou was not robbed, thou was not spoiled. And dealeth treacherously, and they dealeth not treacherously with thee. Come on. When thou shalt cease to spoil, when they cease to rob people, thou shalt be spoiled. They gonna be robbed. And when thou shalt make an end of dealing treacherously, to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with you. Understand that? Job 20, verse 19. Because he have oppressed and have forsaken the poor, because he have violently taken away an house which he buildeth not. Come on. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desireth. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. That's why the merchant's going to go back home with him. Ain't nobody going to say, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Yeah, every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he's about to feel, they'll turn them against each other. When he's about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. Like he did the fat people, the fat ones in the wilderness, talking about give us some meat. Most High gave us so many quails, it just covered the whole ground. Everywhere was quail. It was fat. Give me that, give me that, give me that. Just eating, eating. He killed all of them. He killed all the fat ones. The ones that got to eat a lot. That's why y'all better watch our diet. He shall feed from the iron weapon. That's the iron weapon. That's the missiles. And the bow of steel shall strike him through. That's these missiles, y'all. He shall feed from the iron weapon. And the bow of steel shall strike him through. It's going to get him. It is drawn and coming forth out of the body. Them silos, they have it on the ground. They open up, the missiles come up, right? It is drawn, cometh out of the body. Yeah, the glittering sword, that's these missiles, cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. All darkness shall be hid in his secret places. Hear that? A fire not blown, that's the missiles. Nuclear destruction, y'all. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. All his people going to be feeling this ill of the Most High. The heaven shall reveal his iniquity. Hear that? The heaven going to reveal his wickedness, and the earth shall rise up against him. So look, the earth going to rise up against him, right? That's why the Most High, look. Wisdom of Solomon, all praise to the Most High. Wisdom of Solomon 5:20. His severe wrath shall be sharpened for a sword, and the world shall fight with him against the unwise. Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts, as these missiles, go abroad and from the clouds. They're coming from the clouds, as from a well-drawn bow. Don't they shoot the missiles up in the clouds? As a well-drawn bow, shall they fly to the mark, and hailstones full of wrath shall be cast as out of a stone bow, and the water of the sea shall rage against them. See, here it is. Say the earth gonna be against them. Say the water of the sea shall rage against them. Tidal waves and typhoons, man. I mean, and the floods shall cruelly drown him. Come on. Yeah, a mighty wind like a tornado, like a hurricane, shall stand up against him, against them, and like a flood, like a storm, shall blow them away. Thus iniquity, wickedness, shall lay waste the whole earth, and ill dealings shall overthrow the thrones of the mighty. You're going to use the wicked against the wicked, man, like he just said. He said, Job 20:27, the heavens shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. You hear that? Now, we just read. The sea gonna rise up, floods, tornadoes, hurricanes. You see that right now. It's gonna increase though. The increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. This is the portion of a wicked man from the Most High, and the heritage appointed unto him by the Most High. Thus say the Most High. Job 21:13. They spend their days in wealth, and in a moment go down to the grave. They spend their days in wealth. In a moment they go down to the grave. They die. Therefore they say unto the Most High, depart from us. But we desire not the knowledge of thy ways. Think about it. Therefore they say unto the Most High. Remember in the end, when salvation comes on earth, what they're going to say, we weird ourselves in way of wickedness and destruction. Yeah, we've gone through deserts where there ain't no way. But as for the way of the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushua, we have not known it. What are they going to say? They spend their days in wealth, and in a moment go down to the grave, die. Therefore they say unto the Most High, and to Mashiach Yahushua, depart from us, depart from us. But we desire not the knowledge of thy ways. That's what it says. As for the way of the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushua, we have not known it. They've gone through deserts where there lay no way. And the Mashiach Yahushua said in St. John 14:6, I am the way. They don't know that. No matter how you look at it, they do not know. Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 7 again. I quoted it. Let me read it to you. So you know it's right there. Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 7. That's what they're going to say when salvation is come on this earth. The elite. We weird ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. As you can see the wars that they have, I mean, wars and rumors of wars, they really dealing with wickedness and destruction. Yeah, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of the Most High and my Shekhamashai, we have not known it. Point blank. There it is. They have not known it. What you gonna do when it comes to you? It's what they're gonna say. Do what they say. That's why I love the scripture, because it tells you their mindset. In our mindset, well, we gotta deal with our people, the wicked ones are our people, 2/3 of our people are wicked. It's only a remnant that's gonna be redeemed, y'all. Us and the nations. Job 21 and 15. What is the Almighty that we should serve him? See that? What is the Almighty that we should serve him? And what profit should we have if we pray unto him? That's who y'all following. Just what they think in their mind. That's who y'all following. Job 22 and 5. Is not your wickedness great, and thine iniquities infinite? Verse 7. Thou hast not given water to the weary to drink, and thou hast withholden bread or food from the hungry. Think about people, man, that's living in certain places, man. They can't even get no food stamps from the state. And they hungry. That's why look, I must say coming back, y'all. We just about finished. Matthew 25 and 31. When the Son of Man, who was Mashiach Yahushua, shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them. He ain't integrating no one. Y'all can integrate here in America, this great melting pot if you want to. He don't separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. So the sheep, he told you, the sheep in Matthew 15:24, but he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So the sheep are the Israelites. The goats are, well, we can look at who the goats are. Daniel's 8:21. I'll say the goats are ruling. That's why y'all call y'all children kids. What's a baby goat? A kid, right? We're children of Israel. We are children. Should be a child, but they'll call them kids. Daniel's 8:21. And the rough goat is the king of Greece. Go all the way back to Alexander that we read about in First Maccabees 1 and 1 down. And the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king, who is Alexander the Great, who is a so-called Caucasian or Edomite. So it's saying you're going to put the sheep on the right hand and the goats on the left. Right? Verse 34 of Matthew, the 25th chapter. Then shall the king say unto them on the right hand, who are the sheep, we the children of Israel, that remnant, I might say, come ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. Right? But verse 41. Then shall he say unto them on the left hand, are you that's caught up in this world and following the way of the heathen, Edomites and all the heathen? Then shall he, that's the one's going to be following the way of the Greeks, following the way of them. Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, who are the goats, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. You see? These are people. He said, for I was hungry, and you gave me no meat. Talking about the poor. Like you just said, the needy, the one that's in need. Like you just said, you know. Um, it says Job 22:7, thou hast not given water to the weary to drink. We gotta buy water, and thou hast for withholding bread from the hungry. See, that's why he's saying. He said, it gave me no meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink. Verse 43, Matthew 25, I was a stranger, and you took me not in. Meaning, we as the Israelites, we speaking for us, naked, and you clothed me not, sick, and you in prison, and you visited me not. Then shall they also answer him, saying, Hamashiach Yahushua, when saw we thee in hunger, or thirst, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not minister unto thee? This is what he's saying. Then shall he answer them, saying, I say unto you, that word right there, I don't say Verily. They put it in there. As I see them, I'm trying to mark them out. Which goes back to Amen, y'all. That would be Amen. No. This is Mashiach Shai speaking. He said, I say unto you, insomuch as ye did it not to one of the least of these, which we the poor, the meek, ye did it not to me. Now what's the judgment? And these shall go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous into life eternal. That's why we have to define righteous, which is keeping of the commandments of the Most High, Deuteronomy 6:25 and Psalms 119, 172. Keeping of the commandments and the laws of the Most High make you righteous. And these shall go away into everlasting punishment. Y'all can follow these folks up, these preachers if you want to. If they don't, you follow these preachers if you want to. These pastors, ministers, telling you got to follow the commandments of the Most High, the laws of the Most High, and tell you all the laws is fulfilled and love the Most High with all thy heart, mind, and soul, and strength, and love thy neighbor as thyself. You even understand what that's talking about. He ain't gonna go through all the laws, 613 laws. The laws are set up that you keep the laws of the Most High, the loving the Most High by doing what we're supposed to do, keeping His holy uh, convocations, holy feast days, keep His Sabbath day. Tell you, when you look at the Exodus 20th chapter, the first verses are about how we serve the Most High, we love the Most High with all our heart, mind, soul, and strength. Talking about Him. Then the next verses is talking about how we love our neighbors ourselves. You understand? That's what the laws are based upon. But He gave us moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, and ceremonial laws, and sacrificial laws. That's why He's saying, and these shall go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous into life eternal. So anyone that say that you don't have to keep the laws, the commandments of the Most High, they liars. Ain't no lie. This where they going. And you too, wrong with them when you regurgitating what they telling you ain't under the law. You ain't under the commandments of the Most High, man. This is where you going. Well, I'm here to warn you. So you know how to go. You don't have to go there. I know I got many videos of and lessons of going over the laws. There's no excuse for none of us. Period. Just that judgment right here. Um, Revelations 21:8. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers, you that don't love your brother and sisters, and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. That's the judgment. Amen. 2 Thessalonians 2:1. 2 Thessalonians 2:1. Second Thessalonians, the second chapter, verse 1. Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our power, Mashiach Yahushua, our big brother, and by our gathering together unto him. You know? We'll be gathered together unto a Mashiach Yahushua. That's why he said in John 12:32, and I, if I be lifted up from the earth, will draw all men unto me. Now, was he lifted up from the earth? Acts 1:9, let's see. He said, I be lifted up from the earth, will draw all men unto me. Not unto your leader, to your pastor, your minister, your general, whoever, man. He said, gonna draw all men unto him. Not no man. Ain't no man gonna save us. That's Deuteronomy 28:29 all day. But Acts 1:9 says, he said, if I be lifted up from the earth and draw all men unto him, to a Mashiach Messiah, here he is. Acts 1:9. And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up in a cloud, which is a chariot. We call them IFOs, received him out of their sight. Just like that. So he was lifted up on the earth. Gonna gather all men unto him. That's why Zephaniah 2:1. Zephaniah 2:1. Oh, we gotta be gathered to a Mashiach Yahushua, y'all. Zephaniah 2:1. Zephaniah 2:1. Gather yourselves together. Yeah. Gather together, O nation not desired. See, you see, they ain't doing it for us. We're a nation that's not desired. Nobody care about us. That's why I say, gather yourselves together. Yeah, gather together, O nation not desired. Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the shaft. Shaft is the part of the wheat that just God. Before the fierce anger of the Most High come upon you. Fierce anger coming upon people, man. Through a Mashiach Yahushua, the destroyer. Before the day of the Most High's anger come upon you. Seek ye the Most High. Y'all better learn to praise the Most High. All praise to the Most High. All ye meek of the earth, that's us, the Israelites, man. Which have wrought his judgment. Tell you in Psalm 147:19-20, he showed up his word unto Jacob. His judgment to Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation. That's for his judgment. They have not known him. Praise ye the Most High. Praise the Most High. Look, seek ye the Most High, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. We the only ones that brought the Most High judgment. Seek righteousness. Seek the laws and the commandments of the Most High. That's righteousness. Seek meekness. That's humility. And stop being prideful. Seek meekness. It may be ye shall be hid in the day of the Most High while Mashiach Yahushua's anger. And hopefully we could be right here when he come. He said, come up hither. Can we be right here? Said 26. And I mean, it's going to be the last one. Come, my people, who are the Israelites. It said, enter thou into thy chambers, into the chariots that's coming for us, and set thy doors about thee, just like the doors were set on the ark. These chariots, as they come to get us, say, set the doors about thee. Hide thyself, as it were, for a little moment. Gonna be hiding just for a little moment. And these chariots, until the indignation be overpassed, till they destroy this place in 1 hour. For behold, the Most High Mashiach Yahushua coming out of his place to what? To punish the inhabitants of the earth. Why? For their iniquity, for their wickedness, their sins. The earth also shall disclose her blood and shall no more cover her slain. So gather yourself together, build with us, so you can learn and live and apply this truth in your life in righteousness and learn of righteousness. Because everybody going to learn the Most High's righteousness. He's coming to judge in righteousness and set righteousness on this earth forever and ever and ever and ever. And with that, I'm going to say Krum Most High, Krum Mashiach Yahushai, and Krum Yasharala, and Thahwam for joining me. And all you that's coming in late, go back and look at the lesson. Give a like, you know. And if you move by the Spirit of the Most High, come back again. Keep coming and learning. Matter of fact, you go on my YouTube page, we have Peace Thahwam. I know I have over 7,000 videos. You can go, we have Shield of Wisdom, Israelites, we have that page, Priest Thahwam. Check it out so you can learn more. It's the last days, y'all. Could be your last call to be able to come out of wickedness into righteousness and learn. You can go in there, just type in going over the laws. That's a start. When you go to my page, go to the browser and just put going over the laws and start going over the laws. Or start reading them for yourself, from Genesis to Deuteronomy. Because look, I mean, you can't, I mean, you listen to the preachers if you want to. The last book of the Bible, Revelation 22 and 14 says, straight up, I'm just here to warn you, say, blessed are they that do his commandments. You only have 7 more verses. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. We the Israelites. For without the kingdom are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters, and whosoever loveth or maketh a lie, who's going to be thrown in the lake of fire that we read about in Revelation 21 and 8. Okay? So take that and come back and join me on the Sabbath day, 2 days from now, 7 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Mountain Time, 9 p.m. Central Time, and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And with that, I'm out for real. Shalom.